4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, what's going on, fam? This is One World, One Hood, and we just going over a little bit of electrical because we want to get this free. We want to get free power. You know what I'm saying? Because we know it's infinite. So let's just talk about it. Yeah. So like I was saying, we was talking on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna finish off of that. I don't know how to start all over from the beginning, but this is the basic
Oh,
way
you
how it
good? You
works.
good, brother? Just keep rocking like you doing.
All right. This is the basic principle on how it works. Um, when you have a coil, you have a copper coil, and you have a magnet, and you put this magnet next to that copper coil, there's a reaction that happens. Now, this reaction that happens, it happens so fast, and it's actually like it's your electricity because there's dielectricity in the magnet, and the copper is dielectric, and when these two work together, you actually had a small little bit of voltage that actually went in that wire, in that copper wire, but it only went, if you moved it in one direction, it came in one direction and came and gone just like that. When you moved it away, it went back in the opposite direction. So you need to move it back and forth, that magnet through the copper, in order for it to keep induction on the wire. But now people just think that that's just going to automatically light your little light bulb or spin your motor, and you don't even understand what type of voltage you induced. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if that's AC voltage, and you're probably trying to do something with DC, and you understand why it's not working. You know what I'm saying? Because that's another thing I understand electrical. So that's when it comes to using a diode. We got to put a diode on this to change this from AC to DC, and then we can use it. You know what I'm
So,
saying? And
so,
then
so,
you, it,
te- so tell us what a diode is.
well, it did just like what I said. I would, the best to get the best definition on it, you know what I'm saying? I would Google it, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to ask somebody who just, me, I just do it. So, like I
Already,
said, but right
ready,
now we're
ready.
going to use that. Right now, when we use the diode, we're using the diode to change the transformer from AC to DC. So that's going to change it from
It's
alternating
switching
current
over
to direct current.
current. Yeah, okay. I just changed the current. Okay.
All right. And that's what's gonna switch that over. But so now, but like I says, when the magnet hits the coil, you're only making a little bit of power. You know what I'm saying? So we need to move that magnet around the coil. We need to get a stronger magnet or a better coil, faster spin, more spin. You know what I'm saying? To really induce the coil and get some power out of it. You know what I'm saying? And then of course that still won't be enough of what you want to do with it. I know you want to do more than just make a little bit of light bulb come on. You know what I'm saying? So this is why we need to put transformers to it, because now we need to step up this voltage to something stronger. You know what I'm saying? Something that's gonna push it. Things. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that little brain was you saw me working on over there.
Yeah, yeah.
So what?
Hey, man. Show everybody the little brain, man, if you want.
Well, I'm not finished with it yet, so I don't
Oh
want
yeah,
to. You
yeah,
know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
too
yeah.
much.
Y'all had got enough before when y'all started. I didn't even realize that. But is my camera on now? I don't even realize how to. If
Yeah,
y'all caught me working on it before on my other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn it, I gotta hurry up and give it to y'all since y'all already seen it. You
yeah.
know what I'm
So how
saying?
your
Since I be
perpetual
talking
motion
enough with
machine
Larry.
working?
They work. They work. That's not a they
No,
always
no, no,
work.
no. Yeah, I mean, I know it's working. I'm saying how is it working, man? How's the progress with that?
Oh well, that's what this brain is right here. That's all about the brain right now. When be kicking up and high gear, and that means this whole little motion turns into a power device.
Yeah,
You know, it just be something that's going to be spinning. This is going to be something that's spinning, and it's going to be really powering things on a on
yeah.
a on a on a on a real level, on something. You know what I mean? That's how I'm thinking about it. And the way I can keep getting it stronger and better for something that's really cheap and no motion. That'd be nice right there.
Yeah.
Get something. Like to these perpetual motion. These guys, they worry about, oh, if it stops. But if you're generating power, you know what I'm saying, already, if you're already generating power, you can spit that power back to the actual gears, you know what I'm saying, and make sure that just the shit keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's no so all you gotta it's all about knowing how to wire shit. You know what I mean? If you understand circuitry, you know what I'm saying, you can wire up anything, you know? So like I says, all I need is a little bit of power. It's gonna go a long way. So don't believe nothing that other dude say. He don't know nothing about power and transformers. Yeah, he
How's
said something
everybody
about
doing on the panel, man?
Autobots and shit.
How's everyone doing on the panel? Welcome, welcome.
Yes, I bless me, brother.
Yo,
Good info.
yo.
Good info.
What's going on, Ox?
Yo, what up, Harry? What up, Core? How y'all doing out there, man?
Everything good on this side, man. What up with y'all? Y'all good?
Yeah, man, everything good, man. You
Good,
already
good.
know.
I see we got my electrician over here. Spreading
Yeah,
the good word.
One world back in the building, y'all.
I'm in here. I'm
Already.
here.
This is great stuff, man. It's one world, especially if you can give
That
since
sound
you're
like court.
yeah, it is. It
Yes.
is. Hey
What's
man,
going on?
since you're actually good,
Hold
good
on. I'm
yourself.
sorry. I'm sorry. You're like famous to me. All of y'all, the Ross, all of y'all like famous to me right now. Here y'all. I'm on the panel with y'all. Oh man, this is great right now. All right. Sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead.
Trust me, we ain't famous, brother. We're all in this fight doing exactly what you're doing, and now we're coming to you for knowledge. That's how this works, man. We put all that bullshit aside and build everybody up. So now that you're actually doing something, you need to give us something to work on so we can do our homework in this area. You know what I'm saying? Are you there, brother?
You was breaking up, brother. You're gonna have to say that over. I don't know what's going on. You had
Yeah,
broke up.
yeah. Hold on. Hello. Hello. Myself.
You there? Can you guys hear me
Yeah,
now?
I'm here.
Yeah, yes.
No, you were saying, everybody's as famous as far as you're concerned. Here's my point. Everybody has their natural talent, so you just witness theirs, and now we get to witness yours. So what I was asking is, since you're on this free power, or free energy thing, this Tesla power, now it's your turn to teach us. And what I was asking is, you need to give us something to build ourselves up on, so we can learn. And this time, you become the teacher. You got to give
Oh
us our
yeah,
homework to do.
definitely. Definitely. I don't know. I've been putting a little bit of stuff in the back chat, but uh I'm working on a presentation, and saying that I want to start giving everybody now. I mean, not right now, but I
Yo,
want to
let me
start giving
know
out
if
real
you need
soon.
help with that, brother.
Oh yeah, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like the first guy. You know what I mean? Because you opened up the first. I'm a barber too, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
respect
yeah.
that. You know what I mean? I'm in the. You know what I mean? So
Already.
you got my attention. So you know what I mean? That's what I said. And before I fucks with y'all, you know what I mean? So I'm still with Bro Sanchez and Masterpiece. You know what I'm saying? But I fucks with you too. I was like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'll
You
fucks with
keep
them
it 100.
too. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
He's streaming right now, but once y'all start talking about anything electrical, that's when I wake up. And you got my
Yeah,
attention and
yeah.
shit. You know what I mean? I was rolling. I ain't even stopped rolling. I got me. Let me stop. Let me finish rolling. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Where's Sir Drops? That's who we missing right now.
Yeah. I'm trying to get his ass in here right now. So let me matter of fact, I'm about to call him.
Yeah.
Yes, man. So
Yeah.
drop be playing. He called me. He
So that
called me earlier.
a lot of this, a lot of this electrical stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be able to show you how it coincides a lot with a lot of what Bro Sanchez is been trying to teach everybody. So that's how I know this shit really works.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
but
Because it's
still,
electrical.
I want it to be from you, not just from Bro Sanchez. I want you to have an understanding.
Oh no, see,
but I want it to be
I'm going to go
from
in
you
depth.
naturally. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to be like,
so
well,
I'm going to go way
because
in
of
depth.
Bro
My shit is
Sanchez. I want it to be because of One World. You feel me, brother?
Oh, for sure. Like I said, he's scratching
Already.
the surface of it. You know what I'm saying? When it gets to the electrical and the magnetism part, I'll be able to take us the rest of the way. You know what I'm saying? Because I got, I'm into that part. So and you know, when you say electromagnet, you know what I'm saying? Electrical is half of that word right there. You know what I'm saying? Magnet's the other half. So electrical, I have that. The magnetical part, I've been working on that. And because I have the electrical, you know what I'm saying, and already, that pushed me 3/4 of the way there, So, like I said, I'm a student of Ken, so
Hey, World,
that's what I got on my.
I came into the chat late, brother. Did you ever kind of go over and discuss like what got you into this? Was it something from childhood,
Peace
or
to Carl,
you just
back, brother?
What's that?
Peace, everybody.
No, what's going on, brother?
I need everybody. It's important that everybody goes in the back chat and checks that out because, after I found this, I'm basically letting everybody know that them people over at Planned Parenthood, that's basically mostly in the ghettos and shit like that, they're basically taking your aborted fetus and putting it in your favorite snacks. Pepsi.
It's not even that. It was a depopulation agenda against the black community.
Well, it's not just that. They're making you cannibal, man.
Yeah. It started against the black community, just as liquor stores too.
Yeah.
What happened? You didn't know about that already?
I didn't freaking know about it.
They put them in vaccines too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, bro, I've been eating Dorito Planned Parenthood chips, yo.
Check into Pepsi. They're the ones that kind of, from my understanding, were the trailblazers, if you will, on that.
Exactly, but I mean, like, it's in everything, like Doritos, even water, bro. Even water. Bottled water.
Yeah, man.
Drinking fetus juice.
Fetus juice. Well, there's another explanation that it's not literally fetuses. They use it for this makeup and want. Either way, it's fucked up. It's disgusting, and what they're doing is trifling.
It's nasty.
Hey, Court.
Court,
can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Did you ever get that passport that from that guy you sent us to go check out? What's the passport, that special passport where you don't get pulled over and stuff like that?
Yeah, do not detain. No, yeah. I never did mine because I was going to get a hold of High Frequency and go more in depth in that. And the reason I didn't take that step, I mean, I got to be really honest with you. Things were slow-mo for many years, and I heard everybody doing their A for V and all this other bullshit, and it didn't set right with me. And basically, we all know what's going on. Nadi's the one that actually put it in perspective for me of why I did things and I didn't do other things. And I believe it does work. Nadi, I will be honest with you, is the brother that actually has done 10,000 times more paperwork than I have, and his shit works. And it's not that I haven't done it because I'm hiding anything. It's just I haven't done anything yet because my intuition is saying, me and Nadi were just talking about this, and not that what he is doing is wrong. Here's my question. If I'm playing a game that you make the rules, why do I have to learn your rules in order for me to get up and walk away from the game? And it's always been a question in my gut. And so I'm kind of searching for that answer. But Nadi has done what High Frequency's done. Nadi's done the copyright on his name.
Now I like to talk to Nadi because Nadi, what's up, brother? Peace. I didn't get to hear a lot from you last night, brother. I would be more than welcome to hear from you tonight and build with us, man.
Yes, sir. All of my big brothers. How doing tonight, man?
This is what I'm dealing with, y'all.
Yo.
Nadi's got a lot of it. You guys are dealing with something that's been going ongoing with many of us for 10, 15 years, and we didn't get here being the master of it. One would go to court, I would go to court and try one area and screw up, end up in jail, get bonded out. Then the next guy would go to court and go come back and say, "Dude, this worked, this works." Then we use that next time. So you guys are getting like a breakdown version. Nadi's very versed in this, and you're getting a broke down version of boom, 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 and it works. So take it for what it's worth, and not knock yourself out, brother.
Good evening, gentlemen. We're going on. Good? Everyone good?
Yeah.
All right, all right,
What's
all
up,
right.
brother? Peace. Peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Blessings and most greetings to you, you know. I appreciate you first of all for allowing me on your program, and this is a great honor, man. I appreciate
Anytime,
it to
brother.
the utmost. And I really humble myself in front of my brothers name down on the panel too. If I come across in any kind of way as offensive, please allow me to know that so I can correct that issue immediately. Um, Further than that, the law is in a standing order. And when I say that, people really don't understand what I say when I say standing order is who you perceive yourself to be. And to follow court right quick, his question could be easily answered as in, um, you always under the assumption. So each and every individual need to understand that simple term. You always under the assumption until you prove that you're not. You understand? Um, so you have to do certain things to get yourself prepared when you're out here in this jungle because everything around you deals in UCC. It's going to be very hard for you to get out of UCC when you're in America because the whole business is based upon jurisdictions and um, not only jurisdictions, but just the profit of a certain jurisdiction. So even if you're not from a certain place, if you're in that jurisdiction, you're gonna be under the assumption that you're in their jurisdiction, under their jurisdiction, and their property. So you got to always carry the tool to provide to defend for yourself and stand as a man. A lot of us believe we men, and other than your genital parts, is quite hard to get you to understand that you're not a man. You're a man because of your makeup, genetic makeup, but when it considered the law, you're considered a minor, and a minor always need rule and guidance. So what the way the law and the commerce is set up is that anytime you deal in business and commerce, you must be guided into doing business because you don't understand the business. And if you don't understand the business or overstand the business, you underneath their rules and policies. So one simple thing you can go and do, everyone has a birth paper, a birth certificate. So you have to diffuse that and let it be known. You can't just allow it to be out there floating and think just because you don't play the game is viable for you to just not play the game. You have to play the game to a certain extent to show your standings. Again, you got to show that you're a man. Being a man is showing the government that you don't need any assistance or any citizen privileges that's provided from the government. Use your own standing man. If you never do that, you will always be assumed as a minor. So you have to take the steps to show that you're a man, not only to yourself, but to the people you have to deal with. So I hope everyone kind of following me. The first step you might need to go and do is get your birth certificate. get the new copy of your birth certificate, because even if you have a copy before, I believe it was maybe 2 years ago, 2017. If you have a copy prior to 2017, the copy is not legal, because they changed the signature on the birth paper. So you have to get you a newer printed birth certificate. Go down to your Secretary of State and get your birth certificate authenticated. Get it authenticated twice, 2 or 3 copies. It's like maybe $15 a copy. By you getting your birth certificate authenticated, you're establishing independence from the state, because that's showing that they made that birth certificate fictitiously and they are the ones responsible for that birth certificate. Now you have to go and get a birth authentication from the U.S. government, which is in Washington, D.C. So now you have viable 2 documents, not just one, because one document a judge can kind of throw it out of court because it's not viable, just one document. So you need 2 documents to show your standing. And again, when you get pulled over, when you get pulled over, man, and you show your ID, you again, and the man walk up and ask you, give me your ID, give me your driver's license, give me your insurance. You're giving him permission or agreement or submission that you are his property, or not just his property, but the property of the state, which he has the right and authority given to him by the state to protect the property of the state in the best interest and well-being interest. So now when you give him that ID, you're basically under his rule of thumb. You simply are. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to maneuver, not to be in direct command of him. You have to know what you're doing at the same time to be how can I say more direct in your approach as a man when the officer sees you or whatever. Another thing you need to do is get your name trademark. It's a government rule. It's a rule that every man, woman, and child by the age of 5 years old is supposed to get that name trademark, because you're considered as a man or a woman by the U.S. government. So if you don't get your name trademark, you're now in federal violation of using that name under false pretenses, which you can be incarcerated indefinitely without trial. So everyone moving around with the ID, when them get ready to go and tell you, put out an order, a round up everyone, which is really is already an act President Reagan signed in 1984. I think it's called the Direct Act or something, Direct 84, something of that sort. I can't recall it right now. But
it was wasn't it Directive 84 for Rex 84 or something along those lines?
Yeah, yes, it was. It's to round up all Nubians of color and extermination. These things are real, brothers and sisters. I gotta really know what's going on. We round here fighting about petty things, and we're not really preparing ourselves for what's coming and what they already have in order or in path for we.
Well, now let me explain something real quick, Nada, because we got to keep things in perspective as you go through this, especially for anybody just kind of, most people are going to be hearing the racial aspect of this. What's indirectly happened is our house has been taken over, and the white, black, brown doesn't matter. Put that shit aside. What you've become is an enemy of the state. This is legal. You become an enemy of the state. And the reason being is the powers that be right now are men and women under the Vatican. They have and possess that power. They have converted us into persons. That's a legal term, meaning a ward of the state, slave. So we are enemy combatants against them. So they have the right as men and women to come against us. That's why if you notice laws are made where the laws apply to us but not to them because they are under different standing. Now, UCC means Uniform Commercial Code, the law of the sea. You can't stand in the sea. That's where they come up with the fact that you don't have standing because you are lost at sea. We haven't gone and taken back our rightful ownership of man and woman. All woman is a womb man, a man with a womb. So by doing these steps that Nadi's talking about, what you are doing is claiming, going back and claiming your standing on this land. They said you went and lost to Caesar. So it's me. If I accuse you of something and you don't rebut it, that makes you guilty until you rebut it. But the problem with all this is nobody knew that they were being accused of something. So, in all of this trickery, we're now waking up to the fact that we have to take steps and go back and claim what is rightfully ours. Then we have standing because we become man on the land. Does that make sense? Is everybody kind of following so far?
Yeah.
So when he's talking about it, and even when Nadi talks about Nubian, there are words we can't use the definition of words that we want them to mean. Like when you go to court or you get pulled over and the officer says, "Do you understand me?" We confidently and arrogantly, I'm guilty, look at that cop and say, "Yes, I do." Well, he didn't mean, "Do you comprehend?" Because when we confidently and egotistically say yes, we are acting as if we understand more than we actually do. Understanding means to stand under. So when a cop says, "Do you understand me?" he is saying, "Do you give me authority over you?" And our arrogance, "Yes, yes, I do." Well, we have to understand the terminology they are using, not the definitions we want them to mean. And that's where we get mixed up because I could say a word that I have a definition of, and you have that same word, but as a different definition, and we have a total miscommunication. At our level, it's just a miscommunication. At the legalese level, it's the difference between going to jail and not. So this is why definitions are imperative when we're going through this search and not you'll I catch where Nadi's coming from, but he's trying to give an overall round encapsulated idea to get people on the same page. So if like he said, if there's something that comes up that you don't understand, it does not mean you are ignorant. If you don't understand it, ask so he can delve into that because then when things don't make sense, there's a reason they don't make sense because we've never been taught this. And I grew up in a family that was in law. So that's got to tell you something. What we believe it to be is not what it truly is. So when you go to court, there's little tricks they use. What he's getting at is you're copywriting a business, a fictitious entity. When you go to court, you notice the judge is in a black robe. He is giving his condolences to the dead. You are the dead because you're lost at sea. He's in that black robe because it's a funeral. He's giving condolences to you.
Can I add something to it?
Absolutely.
I just wanted to let you know that that's not a judge. That's a clerk.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I didn't want to dive into all that and confuse the people. I don't know where everybody's at their learning.
It's not really confusing the people. It's letting them know that, that they can only have jurisdiction in their land because this is a foreign occupied military complex. Okay.
Exactly.
And the reason why they made you, what do you call it? Enemy of the state is because they have taken the original government. They've created a corporation and it's a foreign corporation. Since it's a foreign corporation, you being on domestic soil makes you an enemy automatically. Right?
To them.
To them, because they're trying to control you, right? But the thing is that you knowing that that's a clerk, changes your perception. You knowing that they're foreign changes your perception. You knowing that you have to act, that they're trying to actually make you a slave, even though slavery is supposed to be abolished, but abolishment means only regulated. Okay.
But here's part of the problem. You can know he's a clerk and acting as a judge. You still don't have standing because what they're addressing is the trust. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And then that gets into trust law, public and private, which is a whole nother. I was kind of just diving in and letting people know that there's the reason they're doing what they're doing. And actually, the judge in the court system doesn't even have the power. It's the postmaster. Most people don't even know that.
Right. And another thing, too, is that policeman or police agent isn't police agent or policeman. Never call him an officer because you being domestic actually gives him the right of office. Officers only can be elected.
Mm-hmm. Not selected.
What? Who told you that?
Oh, here we go.
It's law, bro. It's just
no, it's not. No, it's not. Nobody in law agrees with you.
Gary, welcome to the broadcast.
What's going on, Chief?
Huey.
No, there is no one. Yeah, there's no form of law that agrees with what you just said. None.
Hey, let me say this. 1947, it's illegal for any bar associated person to be on U.S. soil. So when them come to you and tell you that law is this and law is that, it's really fictitious and it has no standing.
Who told you that?
Here's the problem. We've been around between Gary and Madon.
One court that agrees with you. Name one court that agrees with you.
What's the name of that court in Tallahassee? Not Tallahassee, right outside of Tallahassee.
Not the Commonwealth.
District Court Judge. District Court judges who agree with me, brother.
Which court is it? Name the court.
Are you talking the Ninth Circuit?
Name any court. Name any court. Name any court case or judgment that agrees with you. There's not one. That's not law.
Gary is a statist, and he's never going to change. So this is why between him and Madon, no matter what subject comes up,
so what is law?
Everybody.
What is law, Gary?
No, we already have pre-established law that we go by. Based on what they're saying, they wish to rewrite it. They come up with these semantical arguments that make no sense. Like last time I talked to court, he kept trying to tell me the U.S. is a corporation, and it's not. It's been established it's not a corporation.
I can tell you it. Okay, Gary.
1871. 1871. U.S.
Act of 1871, and it's in their own law. And you are being a mental midget. You won't go look it up yourself.
Okay, tell me the law.
It's United States.
Go ahead and watch some of my videos. Go ahead and watch my videos.
Hold on, stop. Tell me the code again.
It is United States Code, Title 28, Section 3002, Paragraph 15, Subsection A, B, and C. The United States is a federal corporation.
No,
this is why when you go to court, you're under trust law.
Hold on a second. That's what A says. What does B say?
All three apply, Gary.
No. What does B say? What B says? Because that's what subsection A says. That's a corporation. What does B say?
B says that I'm a moron, and C says you're always right. That's what it says, Gary.
That's what. Now you're deflecting.
No, not necessarily.
You only. What does subsection B say?
Let them get you that easy, man.
What does subsection B say? Let me ask you this, Court. Let me ask you this. Does subsection B say that the United States can function as a commission or a department, and subsection C says it can function as an instrument? That's what it says, right?
Instrument. And why don't we break those words down, Gary?
No, we don't have to break them down. Hold on.
And the same words as understanding.
Listen. We don't have to break the words down. By your logic, the United States is an instrument because that's what that section that you just named says. That's what happens when you say something out of context like that.
Out of context. You're the same guy that want to know the definition of belief and knowledge for some bullshit circus show you put on.
No, it's not a circus show. It's your ass not understanding that in order for you to
Gary,
say you know, for you to listen. No, you can't. You cannot. No, you cannot. Because just like
so then those videos of Nadi are all wrong. He made that up.
Videos of
when the cop walks away with his tail between his legs, he made that up. When we go to court and ask them why the judge and the prosecutor work for the same people, which is conflict of interest, and how they're screwing the people over, that video also is bullshit. Correct, Gary?
I don't know which video you're talking about. You're just naming shit off
because you only see what you want to see.
No, I know what the law says. Just like you just came in here and tried to tell me that the subsection that you just said says that the United States is a corporation.
Well, what is an instrument, Gary?
Listen, when I bring up that same section also says that the United States can function as a commission, as a department, and also as an instrumentation. What do you think that means? Does that mean that it is all those things? No, it means it can function as all these things.
As. And what are you functioning as right now? A corporation.
Thank you.
You.
No, I can function as a corporation.
Operating as a corporation.
I am not operating as a corporation. I don't understand how you make that leap in logic to that.
Do you have a driver's
license? You can function as a corporation, that you are a corporation. Because by your logic, the United States is a instrumentation.
The United States is not the United States of America. The United States is a for-profit corporation of which you are an employee.
No, it is not. That is what happens when you take things out of context. Because if we're using it by your logic, the United States is a instrumentation. Not it functions. It can function as an instrumentation. That it is an instrumentation.
Incorporated in France, right?
I'm sorry?
By Benjamin Franklin. You know that it was incorporated in France by Benjamin Franklin, right?
Listen,
and then after
I don't know how you don't understand that the United States has the right to function as a corporation. It needs to do that in order to settle certain debts that it has.
It's not a part of the right. You know that the District of Columbia is not a part of it.
Since you're talking when I'm talking, I can't actually hear what you're saying because I was in the middle of speaking and you interrupted me as I was explaining to you.
He has no clue. He's a gatekeeper.
No, you're speaking while I'm speaking. I can't hear you while I'm speaking.
He's a nationalist and he loves his slavery. That's what.
Oh my God, Court, you're the same person who thinks slaves vote for their master, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Gary, pause for a minute. Everybody, pause for a minute. Takar, go ahead and say what you're going to say, and Gary, follow up with that.
Okay.
It's getting good.
The USA Corporation was incorporated in France. Okay, by Benjamin.
You're going to tell me that a sovereign nation had to go to another nation to get incorporated?
Your government was stolen by corporations, bro. Your original government. It was
Stephen A. Welcome, brother.
That's why it was called the United States.
Let me ask you this: why did they have to go to France to be incorporated? Why would you have to go to the French to be incorporated?
He loves to be a slave.
Listen, why would you have to go to France to be incorporated?
Gary, can I ask you a question?
Is nobody going to answer this question? Why would you have to go to France to be incorporated?
We had to go to France because it was a beautiful land. That's why, Gary. You got us. Damn, I was so close to tricking everybody.
What are you talking about? You're saying the United States had to go to France to be incorporated.
No, what happened when Napoleon was kicking everybody's ass and became
1809, yeah. Hey, check it out, Gary. Gary, let me ask you a question. Do you know that anything outside the District of Columbia is the enemy of the United States? The 10-mile radius?
Thank you.
Who told you that?
See,
who told you that?
He's a special kind of stupid.
No, you're not saying what you're... All you do is say shit out loud. And since you said it, it's true. Where are you getting your information from? Can you back this shit up?
Gary, you are too far ahead of us. We can't.
What are you talking about?
What you're talking about.
Listen, explain your
I would ask
sources.
one thing. Would you please let us children just talk amongst ourselves?
No,
and you go
explain
find
your
a calculus
fucking sources.
class.
Court, you are deflecting. Explain your fucking sources. All you do is say
Gary,
shit out
I'm
loud,
not
and then you
giving
don't back it up with anything.
Time.
Everybody,
because you are either a gatekeeper or you are intentionally trying to stop people.
You're resorting to ad hominem attacks because you can't.
Gary, let's mute the mic for a minute. Stephen A. Harris, welcome back. And
hey, what's happening?
Yeah, Gary, I'm gonna let you finish in a minute, Gary, because I know you're not done, Court. I'm gonna let you finish also. I had to just welcome Stephen A. Harris. He just came into the broadcast. Huey P, brother, welcome to the broadcast, Huey. I know you haven't had a chance to build yet, but welcome, Huey, and welcome, Stephen, to the broadcast.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, anytime. Now, earlier in the broadcast when we first started, because I had One World start off the broadcast. One World, you still there, brother? Peace. One World, you still there? I don't know if he can hear us right now, but he was building on some electrical stuff, and he really wanted to alleviate about that. So I guess let's smooth this out. And Stephen, so what are your thoughts on China landing on the moon? Court, Gary, Nadi,
I heard about that.
Gary, y'all all follow in on that.
Let me tell you what I feel about that. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah.
All right. What I think is that whenever something lands on the dark side of the moon, you can't really see it. You can't really prove it. So I don't know. We just take their words on it. But if anything, I'd probably trust them more than I would NASA. But at the same time, I'm not positive that it happened. Anything that happens on a part of the moon that you cannot see, I'm not really convinced that it happened. I would need a little more proof than that.
That's fair.
All right.
But if you were presented with enough evidence, then you would then believe it, though, right?
Now, with that being said, now China has released details of them possibly by 2021 having established a lunar base on the moon.
How? I heard about 2021.
Yeah,
I heard
that's fairly early.
Yeah, well, that means they could possibly already have been doing shit there, and they just wanted to advertise that shit. You know what I'm saying? They could have been going back.
Well, normally, what you do if you're setting up a lunar base, you would go ahead and send the equipment up first before you send people. And I don't know. I haven't heard of them launching anything towards the moon as far as supplies. I mean, that would be a big endeavor.
How about passing the thermosphere first?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not a problem.
Well, here's the problem and it's just my opinion. I don't have proof or any literature to guide people to, but there's some awesome technology.
We all can have our different opinions, so we agree to disagree. Like I said, this is an open panel. We're discussing it, so nobody has to be right or wrong. We're building. I love you, brothers, and I appreciate you all for coming in. Let's get it going.
There's some commercial technology that we can purchase ourselves without any permits or anything, and one specifically would be the Nikon P900. And some of the images that I've seen through them, now I don't personally possess one myself or own one, but if these are true images, and really, one, I don't think we've ever been to the moon, because I don't think we can break out of, quote, the dome we're in, and two, some of the images that I even picked up just with my finder, which was a 25 by 70, looking at certain stars and stuff, you do see these things illuminate as if they're translucent. There's a whole, and that's just what we at a commercial level can buy. So it makes me wonder when they're talking landing on the moon, doing this. if we can't do that, then what is the ulterior motive that they're bringing all this up for, other than hiding, black budget projects and other things? There's videos just on YouTube, and they can't all be in on it together. There's got to be, someone's got to slip. And when you see them setting up the camera and they're live the whole time, and then give you a glance through this P900, and it goes right to the move, and it's translucent, and then you get these hexagrams, and it's some
what you mean? What
stuff,
do you
man.
mean? What do you mean translucent?
It's almost as if it's just light. It's not a solid object. There's at times, depending on
How does it have craters? How does it have craters on it with shadows if it's not a solid object?
Because I'm starting to believe that it doesn't have any of that. Those are pictures that were
we
were
can
drawn
see
or,
those. You can see.
I know
you
from
can
here. I know, Gary.
You can see
calm
the
down.
craters from here. You can literally see the shadows in the
You can
craters.
see all kinds of crap on it from here. But when you go through these cameras, you start seeing things from a whole different perspective. And that also goes into, if this thing is 230 million or whatever miles away it is, how are we even able to see certain things on it with the naked eye? It brings up more questions to me than anything. So when you start talking about next year, we're going to the, I don't think we've ever been there. Period. Any of us.
Okay. Now you said you think it's in a dome. Is it a closed dome?
I'm led to believe, and once again, we're not getting into the flat Earth theory, because none of us can prove anything. But yes, I am starting to believe, and not starting like this just happened last night and I had an epiphany. I'm led to believe we're in this dome. There is no leaving or coming in. Hence why, even if there was a moon or stars out there that we could land on, we're not getting to them anyways.
When does the system run out of energy?
No, I gave my point. I want you to go ahead and take it, Gary. That's all I got to say.
Well, I'm just asking you, if it's a closed system, closed systems are subject to entropy, and they will eventually, reach maximum entropy. So I'm just asking you.
Peace, family. Peace, family. Go in, Gary. I hear you, Gary. You teach me a lot, man. Y'all continue, brother.
Yeah, I'm just asking because all closed systems that we know of eventually reach maximum entropy.
Gary, why you sound like Khonsu from the Amara Squad?
I don't know who Khonsu is or Amara Squad is.
You sound like Khonsu, homie.
Who is Khonsu?
That's you. You sound like Khonsu.
Okay. If Khonsu knows the laws of physics, then probably so. I'm sorry? I know who is. I've talked to a lot of people, but I don't remember talking to a Khonsu.
Yo, man, this shit is lit. We got the panel full right now. Everybody that's watching, thank you for tuning in. We got a full panel right now. Right now, it's Thursday Night Live. It's an open topic, open panel, and the panel is full. And we're about to get it lit. Harry, what up, Harry? Huey, what up?
Yo, what up, though? So listen, man, the first thing that comes to my mind is just more manipulation, man. I mean, I don't know. The first things that come to my mind is this whole 5G and that being the big thing of Project Bluebeam when they really master this 5G shit, man. I just think that we're going to be seeing things that
Wait a minute. What you talking about?
That may or may not be.
Hold on. What you talking about? Master 5G. I have a 5G router. I have a 5G router in my house, so I'm just wondering because I've had 5Gs for 8 years.
No, I just mean like as far as like them being able to like or them being able to give us the access to maybe
that's what I'm telling you.
Holograms out of our phone or something like that.
Pop up holograms out of your phone. I don't think we have holographic.
You know how like they have 5G, a hologram of Michael Jackson and shit like that. You know they actually have concerts and shit.
Yeah, 5G simply means 5th generation, and all they're doing is changing the wireless signal where it's a shorter, wider burst, so you get faster data.
That's fine. I didn't actually the definition of it.
You have the same thing.
I know what 5G is.
Right, they sell routers right now. Right. Current routers, you can go to Best Buy and buy one right now that has 5G capability.
All right, Gary,
the only difference between
wait for your turn,
the only difference between the 4G you have now and the 5G so that's talking about is that it works within shorter distances.
Gary, let him finish.
I ain't even hear nothing he said. because I ain't even want to hear. But
Yo, Gary, let him finish.
no, I was done. I was done. That's the first thing that come to my mind.
Dojo, what's up, brother? How you been?
Peace, love, and happiness, family. I've been good.
Hey, so if you would like, I would like for you to build about the herbal supplements and elaborate a little bit about that and the best strands that's going around right now. You know, do your thing. You know what I'm talking about, Dojo. I'm putting the camera on you, brother. Go ahead.
I got you, family. I know what you're talking about. Yes, the strain game is one thing. The name game is another. You know, what I'm intrigued by is how you have the whole endocannabinoid system that can be operated and be manipulated by medicinal properties. You know, CBD1, CBD2, CBG, CBC, THC, THCV, CBDN. You know about these things, Gary?
No,
Gary's
not familiar.
Gary's an encyclopedia. He's very smart. Now,
Yeah, I'm not familiar. No, I don't do. No, not familiar.
Yeah, my lane is the medicinal field, man. I moved from Fresno, California, out here to Denver, Colorado. And
Be interested to learn more. Then I don't know about that topic.
yeah, it's something else, man. It's like, I mean, I really wish, peace be upon his soul, I wish Dr. Sabi was here. You know what I mean? Because I mean, honestly, when you look at the endocannabinoid system, I'm very intrigued how different strains of cannabis, which is just marijuana, right? How it manipulates the body, whether if it's appetite or whether if it's, you know, one thing I understand is you can't smoke through anxiety. You know what I mean? Other than that, it's actually a medicinal field. I never thought that before. You know, and
Well, I think it's gonna be corporized. I mean, the way you're having the opioid addiction and the way that it's better at pain relieving, it's probably going to be corporations are going to get a pretty deep hold into that field eventually.
Yeah, you're more than right. You're more than right. The pharmaceutical industry is doing their best to apprehend it. They have already unextracted these. It's brand new. I mean, the endocannabinoid system, the way its functionality works with marijuana, it's barely been discovered like in the 90s. They don't really know too much about it, but the pharmaceutical industry knows one thing, that if they can uphold what these medicinal properties are doing to the endocannabinoid system, then they can go ahead and overturn everything. That's what they're doing, man. They jacking us for the Gucci stuff, for the good stuff. You know, turning everybody to bud tenders. You know, there's the difference between recreational and medicinal, and now I understand the concept. You know, everybody's chiefing. But at the same time, though, what is the properties of what they're smoking? I got to give a shout out to Brandon David, man, because he done put me up on some game. And now my soil property is a lot different. You know what I mean? That's probably why I'm so turned up about it. But I yield the flow.
Hey, Dojo, if you don't mind, brother, could you give us, we've been hearing a lot of things, because this is definitely not my field, but I've been researching about the difference between like just the normal Mexican weed per se versus this new synthetic. What are your insights on the new synthetic stuff? Because I've been hearing some pretty foul things about it.
And synthetic weed is pharmaceutical marijuana. It's a lot of people in Jerusalem are smoking synthetic weed. Synthetic weed is in the same family as K2 and spice and all those other things. You can actually purchase synthetic marijuana as OTC, over the counter. You know, and now when it comes to like synthetic weed and the migration of going to that direction, you notice that they'll tell us that THC is the psychoactive property of cannabis, and which is true. But THC is just the saddle. It's just a saddle to CBD, because without CBD, the THC can't actually become a psychoactive. So basically, the lower the CBD in the tree, the THC is only going to have a standard set of how high you get. The higher the CBD, the more potency the THC will be. What that means is, like in places that are given their 420 friendly benefits, like Washington, which is Seattle, Colorado, California is getting them now. You'll start to notice that a lot of the dispensaries and all the products that come off their shelves as merchandise, right, it has no CBD in it, because it's that, you know, the pharmaceuticals is already on cap. They've already apprehended it all. That's the difference between recreational. People want to go in and buy by the name. They want to go in and buy by the sight. They want to go in and buy by the smell and the smoke. But they're not understanding that it's already synthetic, because you can't extract CBD out of a flower. Flower meaning a bud meaning a plant. meaning that if only way you can extract CBD out of that flower, that plant would have had to been synthetic from the very beginning. It's crazy because the weed in California, it outdoes Colorado weed only for one reason. Because in California, it's whole plant medicinal. Out here in Colorado, it's not whole plant medicinal. It's based on scrutiny. I yield the floor.
No, good stuff. Okay, let's go back to the K2, the spice, and all that. A lot of states outlawed it because and correct me if my information's wrong. From my understanding, up until about 5-10 years ago, there has never been, and I'm talking organic, there's never been a human being that has OD'd on marijuana. And I may be getting these two confused because I'm seeing it in my head, but this is why I'm asking for help. Nobody's ever OD'd on marijuana. Then they came out with the K2 spice and all that crap. And from my study, the reason it's killing people, making them lose their damn minds, is because it's synthetic. So my question kind of is, from the smoking perspective, is it bad? But from the CBD perspective, it's good? Am I kind of on the right page with that?
Yeah, the synthetic is like, wow, that's a very good question. That's a very good analogy. That shit got me stumped. You just made me stumble. Wow, you got me going to the drawing board. Does synthetic have CBD in it? Is the cannabinoids in synthetic marijuana really cannabinoids? That's really good shit. Because one thing I know about flowering out the tree, I just started 38 out here in Colorado. One thing I know about flowering out the tree is the trichomes lets us know the in-depth potency of the CBD. And see, the only reason I emphasize what the CB factors are is because the CB factors coincide with the endocannabinoid system. When you look up the endocannabinoid system, you'll see exactly why the pharmaceutical industry is all over it, because they see that we have these receptor sites all through our body, but yet at the same time, smoking or dabbing, it can influence these receptor sites. So when it comes to medicinal, it can. Now, I don't want to jump all around because I'm kind of buzzing.
Hey, I want to ask you one question. That's why I popped up the picture, Dojo. Give the guys the difference between the sativa strand and the indica strand. The difference between the two.
You have the sativa strand. The sativa strand is the more psychoactive hyperness. You know what I'm saying? You get real active. You start thinking outside the box. You start thinking creative. And the indica strain is more for people who have insomnia, who want to go to sleep, or you don't have appetites. Like, for instance, I'm sitting on a pack of indica right now. Indica is what is more medicinal to sativa, because when you look at, I'm glad you pulled that up. When you look and study the simplicity of sativa and the simplicity of indica, and then correspond that with the endocannabinoid system, you will begin to see exactly how they're beginning to operate. The only reason I'm telling you brothers this is because eventually they're going to make what we're looking at right now. They're going to try to make it like, if it's like PhD or type of scholastic ability, you got to have some type of background or some type of PhD to study this information. And that's the reason why I say I wish Dr. Sebi was here, because I'm sure Dr. Sebi was practicing molecular separation. When you practice molecular separation, you understand about everything Wonka channel's about. I'm about to flip the channel all the way up, because molecular separation is letting us know exactly what the endocannabinoid system is requesting from this marijuana. People are too busy smoking the shit and not seeing what the science is really about. That's why these new movements are coming out, and they're like against recreational smoking, because they're abusing the fact of that this shit is medicinal. And by the time we realize it, the pharmaceutical industry be running it. But you on to it. The sativa strain is a good strain. The indica strain is a good strain, but it's all according to your endocannabinoid system, how you feel. Or we can just smoke blunts all day. But other than that, man, it's all about the CB factors on my behalf.
It's interesting.
Dojo, I know that you're in Colorado, and I noticed that on the indica one, it said it's better for colder climates. So is that the preferred one out there in Colorado? Just because
it's crazy you say that. I'm out here, I'm vegging right now, and I'm vegging some indica, actually the Gelato 42. I'm vegging, and right now when I'm looking at my thermostat, I'm at 16% humidity, and I'm at 84% temperature. And you're right. Indica can grow in cold climates. I got snow outside right now, and my plants are doing real well. Here, I can cut this motherfucker on and show you. This doing real well. You're right. Yeah, indica grows a lot better and you know what I'm saying, and lukewarm environments, lukewarm, I would say. No matter what, whether if it's indica or sativa, you're going to always want to master your humidity first, because your humidity is what drives bacteria. That's what you want to master first, is your humidity instead of the temperature.
Hey Dojo, it makes me wonder, is the true blessing in and I'm speaking as a whole of that quote plant, is the blessing, it's more of a medical CBD than it is in a smoking? Or are you kind of seeing the blessing as both, but because we lean more to the smoking, we don't see the benefits in the CBD until just recent few years?
There you go. We lean more to the smoking. We always wonder why the plant was so compatible with our systems. You know what I mean? And that's, like I mentioned, I can't emphasize it the most. But the endocannabinoid system shows us that, like, it was kind of like if at the beginning of Eden, like at the beginning when God created man and earth, you know what I'm saying? That like we were created with this inside of us. It's kind of, the endocannabinoid system is just as important as your nervous system or your synaptic system. It's very important. And it's like we would have never understood it until we figured out the science of it. And yes, it's man-made. You know what I'm saying? But it's only man-made through through observing it. You know what I'm saying? The reason I say it's only man-made through observing it, because it's already in us. And so it drives us back to Eden. It's like, I follow the marijuana. I follow the praying mantis. The mantis, no one knows the age of a mantis. The mantis comes from the Garden of Eden. And so it's like, some people chase the flat earth. I chase nature. And like before I forget, the difference between box weed, the Mex weed, it's because the Mex weed is compressed and it has a lot of seeds in it. It's just dirt weed. It's brick weed. But it's only for those places those states where that weed is really outlawed. You got some places down south that weed is so outlawed that I probably smoke more weed than they smoke in a year, in a day. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way that is. But it's not bragging. It's just that fact that until it gets legalized, that's when it's going to start bracking for everybody. People need to understand that federal regulations are regulating it now. The reason why they're regulating it now is because they're giving us the leniency to start using SNH. Don't you know, in New York and where I'm at, we already shipping elbows. We already shipping turkey bags with Mylar wrapping. And the federals know this. Once they begin to regulate the SNH of marijuana and medicinal properties and have a chance where we can ship them off, that's when the whole country is going to be legalized. But they want to make sure that they can make millions off shipping and handling, just like they do out here.
Well, it was interesting. The little town I lived in Nevada, they had just brought in 3 dispensaries. And my boy from Colorado is the one that told me, Court, you need to get in on it. Well, I couldn't find investors because they needed just the down payment to get in on this dispensary was $250,000. I don't have that kind of money. He was telling me it was 7-8 years ago when it started booming in Colorado that the dude, his friend came from a wealthy family. His friend put money in it. Dude, they are making money hand over fist. And so, if they're making that kind of money, the money that's going to be set up for the government, that if they can't make money, you ain't getting no part of it. So it's going to, what I'm getting at is I'm with you. It's blowing up in small cities right now that nobody's ever even heard of. And it's big money in it, man. They take it very seriously.
And listen, taxation. It's the taxation out here.
Family, I got a question for you too. And I apologize. You can get right back to your taxation point, but is this something that should be burned like in an incense form? Should it be necessarily smoked?
That's a good question. I don't know. I can't answer that because the proper. I don't even know if CBD can affect you through inhaling it. That's like secondhand smoke. You know what I mean? That's a really good question. Does secondhand smoke, can CBD be effective but through secondhand smoke? Very good question. I do not know the answer to that, but you caught me with my pants down.
I just wanted to add, I live in Canada and it's legalized all across the country. I'm allowed to grow 4 plants in my house. Every city is allowed to grow 4 plants in their house. And the thing is that nobody is reading the Cannabis Act. They're not reading the law when it comes to the cannabis, right? They're just thinking, oh man, it's legalized, I could go smoke and blah, 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 and that's all good. Now, the thing is that it's just like prohibition. It's exactly what it's like. Now, you have to get it. You have to buy your cannabis from the police agents, and you are not allowed to do a business
Takar, when you
license.
when you say prohibition, you're talking about the American prohibition because you say you're from Canada, brother. I just want to understand you're talking about the American prohibition back.
You do realize that Canada,
alcohol.
you do realize that Canada is a part of America, right? Canada is America. It's in America. There's separation. There's no water. There's no nothing. It is inside.
Part of North America, the continent of North America.
Yeah, it's North America.
Yeah.
You're using an analogy, though, right? I think you were using that as an analogy.
Yes.
Huh?
Okay. He was asking, we're using that as an analogy. You're comparing the two, so we can comprehend what's going on down here, up there.
Exactly. So, thing is that what happened? There was a huge, it was like a massive, ongoing, like busting this, like shutting down the grow ops and going after certain people and making you would hear about it like constantly. And what they were doing was basically taking out the competition. You see what I'm saying? You read the Cannabis Act, only you're basically making a deal with the justice minister in order for you to even get in the game. You see what I mean? Just like alcohol. If you want to sell alcohol, you have to get it from the government. Right. You can't just go and buy alcohol from so-and-so. You have to buy it from a distributor, which is owned by the government. So if I wanted to get a store and have my own dispensary and stuff like that, I would have to be in a contract with the justice minister. I would have to actually get my weed from the cops, which is a central distributing center. If I wanted to even order from, say, this brethren on the phone, if I wanted to order from him, I have to order it to the dispensary and then get it from the dispensary to me. I don't even know if I'm actually even getting the weed that I'd ordered, right? When it comes to the, I just wanted to say when it came to the synthetic weed, that's basically GMO weed, okay? Once they genetically altered or manipulated the cannabis strain, they patented, okay? Now it's just like GMO food right now. It's making people sick. It's killing people. You see what I'm saying?
You know what? So I was in Canada last week and I was talking to some people. And the person I was talking to seemed to think it was pretty good weed. I wouldn't know. What's your opinion on it?
Whoever was speaking previously, that guy right there, he's spot on, especially when it comes to distribution centers. It's the same type of tactic that is happening in Colorado, the way he described as happening in Canada. The reason why that tactic is so effective is because of the synthetic strains that they're putting out. Now, partner that I just interrupted, and excuse me for that. The reason why it may seem like it's high is because the content of the THC is very high. You out here, there's all the dispensaries out here. It shows you 17 to 34% THC, 0% CBD. 34 to 78% THC, 0% CBD. Once you start noticing that your dispensary is kicking out these analytics with no CBD properties active in it, it lets us know that if it doesn't have CBD, the flower grew with no trichomes. These trichomes contain compounds known as cannabinoids. This is where the CBD is coming from. And so if it says 0% CBD on your tree that you're buying from these dispensaries, it's only giving you this head buzz. The THC cannot overdose. We can't overdose on THC, and obviously you can't OD on CBD because you have an endocannabinoid system. They figured this shit out a long time ago. What they've done, like homie from Canada went in right now. He went in. The distribution center, see out here in Colorado, every dispensary in Colorado gets all their weed from central distribution centers. That way, the plants can be manipulated according to who they dispense to. Out here, these dispensaries, they all favor the same strains. They all favor the same names. That's what makes me powerful in Colorado. I come out here with California strains. The difference is, I thought that California was growing better marijuana than Colorado. The difference is, it's the actual seeds themselves That's why this cycle I'm doing right now is the most important. Because if this cycle come out as whole plant medicinal, then it's not California versus Colorado. It's actually who's suppressing these actual normal seeds.
When you look into CRISPR or any of those genetic manipulation, what do you call it? Genetic manipulation testing and stuff like that, they're basically now patenting and creating all these seeds. It's basically like Monsanto's growing weed now. Okay, right. They're patenting the seed. Now the thing is that if I'm getting it from a distribution center, how can I trust that these guys aren't spraying it with anything and clients aren't going to be like dropping dead? Because it seems like people are dropping dead now ever since all this GMO weed started coming out.
And there's an underlying thing most people aren't pondering. When GMOs came out, they were going after the heirloom seeds because the way they pollinate. So they're saying, your neighbor's running Monsanto, you're running heirloom, their shit comes into your field, now they can take it over. They're going to do that same thing with weed, and this isn't about helping your system and becoming healthier. It's about control.
Thank you. And another thing too, nobody's looking at Finland. Nobody's looking at Finland and wondering why they're the only ones with every single seed in the whole entire world in a vault in the side of a mountain.
Yes.
Okay.
It's insurance. If it goes too far, they can start it back over, or that's the plan altogether.
But the thing is, when you also read about Agenda 21, who smokes the most weed, yo? For real. When it comes right down to it, who smokes the most weed? We do. They're genetically altering the marijuana right now, and people are dropping dead. Okay? That's the thing, because now it's screwing up with your internal, what was that thing you called it? Cannabinoid system.
Endocannabinoid system. You going the fuck in. You talk that shit, homie, you going in. Because the different combination of these terpenes that's coming from the marijuana, the different terpenes and the cannabinoids can have a wide-ranging psychological effect on all of us. That's why everybody out here are getting more addicted to the THC than normal. The THC.
What about the myrcene? What about the myrcene? Myrcene. Myrcene.
Myrcene. I don't know what the fuck that. I don't know what that is. You got me. Maybe that's something that's supposed to be using. I don't know what I don't know what a myosin is. You got me, Black. I'm sorry.
Kind of give a definition of what it is.
I know what niacin is, but not myosin.
No, myrcene or some shit like that. It's in the plant. MYRCENE. Myrcene or something. I don't know.
All I know is that the Rastaman's been telling people for the longest time, and my father was a Rastaman, and he's been telling the people for the longest time, ganja is the healing of the nation. And now, when they GMO started coming out, guess what? GMO in France, it's been tested in France, and they banned it. Okay? They don't want that stuff in their country. Why? Because it's actually giving you cancer. It's giving you all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? When man decides that he's going to be God and patent seeds and change the genetic makeup of a seed, then guess what? You want to put pesticides. What they're doing is putting pesticides in the plant before or in the seed before they plant it. Now they don't have to spray it. You see what I'm saying? They don't have to, take care of it. Now, the thing is that when you're doing indoor weed, it's different than outdoor weed. Well, we all know that everything came from the outdoor in the first place, right? If you're going to now put pesticides, which is actually killing people, these pesticides inside the seed, now the plant is now growing up, or you're creating poison.
I like to retort. I don't know who's speaking, but I like to retort on that. When you start to speak about GMOs, it's a different type of GMO terminology when it comes to doing GMOs for fruits and crops that are acres compared to marijuana. The marijuana GMO is not the same category. Like for instance, you spoke about indoor and outdoor, and you spoke about pesticides. The GMO for marijuana isn't infused with pesticides because it's all done with hydroponics. The reason why we do the reason why they do GMO with hydroponics is because hydroponics is anti-pesticides. When you grow marijuana in water, you don't have pesticides. Pesticides don't come from anything, but it doesn't exclude that the fact that it's GMO still. So the thing is, though, you're right, but you're half right, because the righteous part of what you're half right about, it goes to corn and crops and apples and oranges and everything else that's GMO. But in the medicinal field, that GMO is different, and it's like go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The only reason why is I was watching documentary on California. Like, there's a lot of companies in California growing a lot of outdoor weed, man, because they have the perfect temperature for it, right? Weed comes from Mongolia, okay? That region. That's where they say it originated from, and they tracked it all the way up to here. But I mean, when it's growing like out, you're getting the sun. When it's growing inside, you're getting artificial light. Now you're basically manipulating seed. Now the plant is really close to us as human. I don't know why, but the plant is really, really close to us for some reason. You know what I'm saying? It can do a lot of stuff
you're speaking in the righteous term. The thing is, though, you're right. Outdoor. The reason I just had this debate with some Coloradoans just the other day. They say that Colorado gets more sunlight than California. I say other. The reason being is because California, when we get sunlight, we get it 17 to 19 hours. That's why Humboldt County can do outdoor. Out here in Colorado, you can't do outdoor because we get 4 seasons in one day. Today was 58 degrees. Yesterday it snowed. And so it's like you get 4 seasons in one day in Colorado, but that's why we do indoor. I can honestly say this. We are living in the times of revelation. And when I say that, is to say this. It's because of the fact that what is normal is abnormal now. And I'm really against indoor growing, but I'm not against medicinal properties and medicinal medicine. The high heat allows these combustions when it comes to the particles when we're speaking of molecular separation. The reason why California is now behind Colorado is because Colorado haven't figured out how to do it inside. The sun is where it's at. But when you say that LED or LEP, which is LED, which is light emitting diode, LEP, light emitting plasma, when you tell yourself that these are mimicking the sun, you have to ask yourself, why did Dr. Sebi say that GMOs are better than eating meat? He say that to say because most GMOs, it's not a manipulation. It's actually a duplicate. That's all it is. If I can duplicate this strawberry or this tomato indoors the same way you did it outside, the only thing is the only proof it shows is that the electromagnetic spectrum of the colors really exists. It only shows that nature is growing things through Roy G. Biv. That's why I was speaking about sunlight. Go ahead. What's your question?
I have a question though. When it comes to frequency, right? The frequency of the sun is emitting a different frequency than the frequency that's coming from a light that we made. And when you actually have a microphone and like a really high intense microphone that can pick up certain frequencies, right? Check the frequency of the LEDs.
What it's emitting. Yep.
It's emitting. Remember what you're doing indoor, you're taking a plant, right? And forcing it. You're forcing it to stay awake, you tell it when to go to sleep, when to stay awake. When this is basically stress, this duress. You're putting the plant under duress to basically produce.
True. Those who grow under 24. I don't grow 24 hours. I grow gas.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's you. But that's you. That's you. You know through a lot of trial and error, right? But I'm talking when it comes down to it, you're stressing the plant to produce, yes or no? When they're like majority of people who are growing indoor.
Yes.
I've asked this question. And the thing is, you start now messing with the seed at the genetic level.
Yes.
Are you sure you're going to get the same outcome?
The outcome is actually better, but it's manipulated, like you're saying. They're very mechanical. And you're right.
A
These
Dojo,
warehouses are very mechanical.
I don't think Tenkara is dogging you for what you're doing. We're just putting it in perspective of like how they're manipulating us to manipulate things, that it's not as good as if it was outside due to what they're doing to us.
Our realities are being manipulated. And so
Yeah.
if we keep on hanging and dangling on all these little things, right? We're just feeding it. We're just having fun with these manipulations. I really don't. I don't get down like that. But everything he said is right. He's right about that. They're mechanical about it. They're forcing the marijuana to do. Hydroponics began in Babylon. The Tower of Babel was based on hydroponics. That's where we learned that from. I yield to floor.
Like Brethren said, our reality is being manipulated, and I just wanted to go back to, what we was on the discussion first about.
All right, that's right, brother.
With Brother Gary. Gary, you might want to pick up the Constitution.
Yeah, Gary,
article,
mute your mic, Gary.
and read Article 1, Section 8. First of all, Clause 3 puts every man, woman, and child outside of the District of Columbia as commerce. Clause 10, 15, 17, 16, and 18 is the war, showing you that they can put on the commerce citizens.
Facts.
So in the truth, you was truth about the A, B, and C of Article 18, I believe it was, that Court was telling you on, but in the original Article 28, but the original Constitution already places you in commerce. So when you come with the other articles, that's in continuance of what was written first. So when I say anything outside of 10 miles all ways of Washington, D.C. is enemy of the state, Washington, D.C.
But before we had the Constitution, we had the Articles of Confederacy. So what do you mean the first Constitution?
The Constitution, brethren, is
yes, the Constitution. The Constitution subseded the Articles of Confederacy, right?
What I telling you, I don't know if you're catching it.
No, I'm asking you because before we had the Constitution, we had the Articles of Confederation, right?
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right. So we no longer go by the Articles of Confederation. We have the Constitution that we use. That's the supreme law of the land, right?
Okay.
So what do you mean when you say the first Constitution? Are you talking about the Articles of Confederation?
No, I'm saying this Constitution right here puts you in commerce.
No,
period.
Sir. No.
Yes. Go and read it, man. I just gave you what you wanted to hear.
No, I understand what.
We're not gonna argue about what I thought.
Listen. I understand that's how you're interpreting it, but no other legal expert interpreted it that way. You know that.
I can read
you
it.
You are in the minority position that no other legal professional believes.
It's telling you the Congress put all foreign states and Indian tribes under commerce in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3. I don't know why you're not understanding that. You need to go and read that. You need to go and investigate that.
Before anyone continues, the original Constitution was the Iroquois Constitution, and that's over 1,000 years old, and also the Coosa Constitution, and that's 1,000 years old as well. So this Constitution here, Article of Confederation,
it's all commerce. It's all commerce.
The only way they could do
I can't hear him.
The only way they could do business here is through the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, and that was the Barbary Treaty, and that was with Morocco.
No,
you see what I'm saying? So
no, that's that. Oh my God, that's that.
Outside. No, listen. Outside of the. He's right. Outside of the District of Columbia. Remember, there's British Columbia, there is District of Columbia, and there is Columbia. The Treaty of Tordesillas, right? That is 1494. The Portuguese and the Spaniards, or the Portuguese and the Spanish, split the world, the New World, between themselves. So that's how they made all y'all, right, an enemy of the state.
Of which state? No.
Washington D.C. You know D.C.
No, you can't be an enemy of your own. Oh my God! But the two countries you named aren't part of Washington D.C., are they? They're separate, right?
Washington D.C. is a foreign entity on sovereign soil, Gary. You don't understand this.
It was created by Benjamin Banneker. Yes, it is. Man, this guy don't want to read, man. Go read.
Once again, the opinion in which you are placing before seems to be a minority position because it is not believed by the populace. Is that correct?
Then I will be a minority, Gary, because every person that studies the bar can be held for treason because they're practicing foreign law.
And you are the only person who believes. Well, not you. There's a small group of y'all who believe that, but it is not the legal opinion of most people who actually operate within law every day.
That is why we're not attorneys or legal
I know that,
people.
I know that's why you are not, because if you
I
were in
don't
front
like
of attorneys, they would simply laugh at you that it is not treason. Your opinion is a very small minority opinion that is not held by anyone in power. Is that correct?
That's crazy, because how is one race the majority, but every other race?
It's not a race issue. It's not a race issue.
No, Gary, you're not gonna slither your way out. You ain't gonna slither out of this one. I'm not saying it's a race issue. What I'm saying is, when you say minority and majority, what is your definition of what's a minority and majority? Please explain.
Most legal experts, people who are considered legal experts, have the position that your position is completely wrong. Y'all are not legal experts, but y'all say that y'all study law, but your interpretation of the law, based on your
majority, you're saying legal experts make up the majority.
No, I'm saying the majority of legal experts. That's people who practice law for a listen. Yes, I said his position is a minority position. There is a small group of.
What is a minority to you? Describe a minority before you slither your way out of this.
I've already described. If you would actually stop to listen to the answer before you speak, I am. But he keeps interrupting me when I'm trying to answer him.
That's what you do to us.
What you mean exactly? You are not letting me. How am I not?
I'm asking one simple question.
I am, but if you stop talking, you can actually hear the answer. See, if you keep talking, you can't hear the answer. The minority is usually it means it's the smaller party or the smaller position or the less prominent position.
But that couldn't have been the true definition, because we knew black people wasn't a minority.
It's not about the race. It's about a group. If you have a group of people,
a group of dark-skinned people.
No, it doesn't have. It doesn't matter the skin color.
Right. Gary,
the skin color is not the issue here. It's
I know we're not going to make it about race. Here's my problem. You are saying.
No, what he's saying in regards to like minority and majority is like there's Major League Baseball and there's minor league baseball. The
Correct.
Major
Thank
League
you.
Baseball is more popular.
Hold on. Let me say one thing, Gary. Go and read the letters of Marquis and the Reprisal, which is the Age of Sail. Once you read that, that's what America is built on, brethren. That's what the Constitution, that's period. Read it. I'm going to repeat it again, everyone, to go and read the letters of Marquis and Reprisal. Once you read that, you're going to understand what's going on. And that's what's giving the Constitution the right it has. So I really want you to be in tune and not just say, oh, because I don't have the bar, I'm not smart enough to read and understand what I'm reading.
No,
I want you to be
listen, it doesn't matter if you're with the Bar Association. You can have a legal opinion. The problem is I'm saying your legal opinion is in the minority. Most legal experts don't agree with your opinion.
Right, and what you're saying, Gary, here's the problem, and I can't speak for everybody. You are saying because we are in the minority and all other experts, you are, and I'm not saying verbatim, but you are kind of claiming or giving intent that because we are in the minority, therefore we are wrong.
No, I'm telling you that most people who do law for a living, they do it as a job or a profession, do not agree with your interpretation of those laws.
Gary,
They don't agree. They don't agree with we the people. We the
Gary.
people as the minority. Gary, is that true or not?
No, that's not true.
Mr.
Then what are you
Gary,
saying?
Mr. Gary,
No, what he's trying to say is there's not very many people that agree with us.
hold on. You said that they do it. Hold on. You said that they go to school and do this as a living. And what
Anyone who practice law, most people who practice law do not agree with your legal position. It doesn't matter if they've already completed the bar or not. Go ahead.
Sir, may I finish a sentence, please?
Go ahead, Nati, go ahead. Follow up, Gary.
How you say what you just said, and I'm gonna tell you, insane. Me as a free man and want to live, I do it for my life, my well-being too. It's my job too to know the same thing.
Right.
And everybody who practice law will lie to protect the bench. Everybody who practice law will lie to protect the black robe by the floor.
Right. But no, you could study without having to
that's right.
Follow up anybody else. I agree with that.
All right, then let me ask.
No,
this.
it's
Gary,
no
I'm gonna make it
different
simple, and I'll let you talk.
Well, I was going to do a
If I get
simple
pulled-
analogy to help with this. It's like when you
if I get pulled over and a cop, I'm smoking weed in my car and I've harmed nobody, does that cop have a right to take me to jail because of a man-written law?
Yes, you've broken a statute that's pre-written.
Okay, who did I harm?
What do you mean? Who do you harm?
Who did I harm for a crime to be committed?
Well, you've broken a statutory law within.
Therefore, you're a statist.
Hold on.
I rest my case.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. See, court cut me off before I said it. The state has already had preset boundaries for what they consider to be their territory. You are operating within their territory. You knew this prior to being in their territory. You are not obligated by under any law to be within their territory. You can leave at any point in time. They have established statutory laws based on the citizens who live in that state where the boundaries are preset and determined.
Okay,
but I was born in that. I was born in that territory. So does that not give me authority to that territory? So why would I give another man authority over?
You are still operating within that preset territory. It was set before you were born. That even gives them more. That gives them even more stake in the land because the land was established before you were even born. They established that is their preset territory.
Gary is a Levite. He's a part of the Leviticus priesthood.
He's foreign.
I don't know what that means.
You're a fucking Levite. Look it up.
I don't even know what that means, but okay. But once again, they have already preset their territories. It's no different than you saying, this is my house, this is my front yard, I built a fence around it. It's the same thing. Once someone enters into your set, your domain, if you say to walk in my house, you got to take your shoes off, then guess what? If you're not taking your shoes off, they can easily punish you for not taking your shoes off in their damn house. That's their rules. They said it. You are breaking a statutory law within their preset boundaries, and they established and wrote the laws where anyone can read and see them.
Did you know that all acts, statutes, and regulations are for government employees and their wards?
That is not correct.
Yes, it is correct. That's how they get you tied up in the driver's license or Social Security to make you a federal agent.
Hold on. Once again, the laws were preset and written down, and it clearly says it does not say that.
Okay, how about this? And how about this? Wait, one more thing. Did you know that there's two types of law that's actually on this land? One is the common law, and one is Maritime Admiralty Military Tribunal.
Yes, I understand that, and we are not set under Maritime Admiral. No, we are not. I just posted a video in the back chat. I wrote it to Yui, but y'all should go see it. They just did
realize that all those legal dudes that are practicing law, they are a part of the Bar Association. The Bar Association is a subdivision of Inns of Law. The Inns of Law is a subdivision of the Vatican Church, and it started with the tribunal. Okay, that's why.
And the bar stands for British Accreditation Registry. It's British
One
law.
more thing. The Bar Association is a foreign entity that is in London, England. Okay, and they do not practice law for the benefit of the people, the state, or the country thereof. It is for their private organization, which is card-bearing members. So if somebody's telling you straight up, hey, you know what? That's totally wrong there, Gary. You're so gullible. You shouldn't read anything. Jeez, man.
Listen, let me help you out. Once again, I want you to acknowledge the position in which you are placing forward is a minority position. Most legal experts will not agree with you upon those statements that you just made. Is that correct?
A minor can be 90 years old and be a minor.
You're not listening. I'm not saying to your age. I'm not questioning your age. I'm saying that the position you're putting forward is not a position that is held by people who work within the field.
They are not.
You're right, and it just goes to show how ignorant people are. They don't know. Do you know there's bankers that still believe we're under the gold standard?
Thank you.
No, there are not bankers who believe we're under the gold
standard.
Oh,
they don't. So the two that I worked for, that I talked to, one of them being a family member, which is a regional manager that believes we're under the gold standard. That's not true either, right, Gary? Because it's a minority.
Some people say the gold standard, not meaning the actual gold standard, but as a figure of speech.
Yes.
You sure you wasn't under
Gary,
misunderstanding?
I hope they pay you well for what you do, brother, because you're good at it.
What are you talking about? You do understand that the gold standard also means is used as a figure of speech, correct?
Oh wow!
Is that correct?
Boy,
is that correct, Court, or not?
They trade under the gold standard. So how is it just being used as a phrase?
No, it's used as a figure of speech. Some people say I want the gold standard. That don't mean that there actually is a gold standard, correct?
It is actually a
It is. It is. What you say?
No. Oh my God.
I know what Gary's talking about, but that's not what Court's talking about.
No, yes, he is. Somebody was talking to him and said that they try to go by the gold standard, and he took it literally.
No, they literally believed that our money was backed by gold. We were taken off the gold standard in 1971 officially. They still believe our dollar is backed by gold. It is not. Our dollar is backed by petro indirectly through force. They still believe you can go to your bank
correctly.
Which is the Admiralty military.
I just told him go and read the letters of Mark.
There used to be Federal Reserve notes that literally said that they were gold certificates or silver certificates. I actually own a silver certificate, so I understand what you're saying there.
A certificate.
The point I was making, Gary, is just because one person believes something, we are coming from a fact of matter because we've read it in their own laws. The point I was making is you were saying we are incorrect because the majority believes we are incorrect. There are bankers today that still believe, because they've not been educated properly, that they believe our dollars are still backed by gold and silver as silver and gold certificates. They are incorrect. And you are making a claim that, well, you know, they should know they're in the... No, they don't, because that is our system. We are all lied to on all fronts. And I don't care
your
how
claim,
many people...
your claim that there are bankers who still think our money is back is just a claim made by you that you have not actually backed up, other than the fact that you made the claim.
Gary, here's the thing, man. It doesn't matter if there was 10,000 people on this panel. You are neck deep into whatever it is you work for or with. And we've told you about
do you
the Bar
understand? Hold on,
law.
let me ask you something.
You are going to take your little degree, you're going to run with it, and that's all you have is a piece of paper because your knowledge is wrong.
Okay. Slice, nigga. He's slicing your ass, Gary. You better get on him. He's
slicing
your ass up.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. First of all, Court, all you're saying is if I'm standing in there and everyone says, well, what Gary says is actually the law, since you have the minority position, all those people are wrong and Court is right. That's what you just said.
If you were absolutely 100% correct, then nobody could go to court and run it the way they've been doing it and getting the judge that you think is all high and mighty to leave his ship. It is all about maritime law, military law.
No, it's not. There's a difference between a military court and a civil court. What are you talking about?
That's why you actually ask the provost marshal to come with you to court to make sure that that court is operating in order.
Oh my God.
Which is Article 1 and Article 3 courts. And most people assume they're in an Article 1 court. When we go to court, they assume, because you've never spoken up, that it's all about trust law. They are claiming you to be the trustee. This is why these things happen, and those of us in the minority can get away with things in court that those in the majority cannot.
Actually, I've seen a lot of sovereign citizens go to court, and I've seen a lot of them get tased and drug their ass right up out of court.
And thank you for throwing people off again about the sovereign citizen, because sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. You cannot be a master and a slave at the same time. A citizen is a slave, and a sovereign is a master.
No, it's not.
Yes,
a citizen just means that you are the resident of said location. That's all a citizen is.
Wow. Yo, bro, you do realize that the only sovereigns can be the aboriginals that are on this land?
Yes, you can claim your sovereignty. That doesn't mean you are sovereign.
No, it doesn't. If I took an African elephant and I brought it to America and then it had babies, those little babies become an American elephant? Does it?
What?
Do those African elephant babies, are they now American elephants?
I don't know I don't think it works like that. I don't believe we give citizenships to elephants.
Hey, check it out. I'm not a citizen. I reside.
What about the bunker babies? You know, the
anchor babies.
Anchor babies, yeah.
According to which amendment is it? Court, help me out. It's the 14th Amendment. They are American citizens.
So I think that's probably what Carl was kind of the analogy he might have been trying to use.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what make you a citizen, Gary, the 14th Amendment.
Yeah, I was born in America.
No. How come the 14th Amendment make you a citizen, but the First Amendment don't make you automatically a citizen? You born in the same state or country.
The First Amendment speaks to freedom of speech and freedom of the press.
But it's speaking to the citizens. It's speaking to the citizens already.
Yeah,
that's part of that. All the way up to the 14th is adding new citizens. Hold on. I've been listening to you for an hour. Can I say
anything, you asked me, would you like me to answer the question?
Nah, I want you to listen to me right now. Just listen to me right now. While I throw points at you, then you can try to come defeat it. Give me some time, please.
Okay, don't ask me a question then if you don't want me to answer.
All right. I'm going to say this. Listen, the 14th Amendment makes you a citizen. The Constitution wasn't written for you. You wanted to join, so they allowed you to join for the 14th in the 14th.
Gary, you better listen for this one.
Hold on, man. I'm trying to get a brethren them some reasons so everyone who's watching can really know the truth. You misleading people, Gary.
I am not. The amendment. Everyone knows the Constitution has been amended multiple times.
Hold on, Gary. He's going to drop something before that, and I hope you're sitting down for this one because you ain't going to like it. Go ahead, Natty.
Oh, my God, Corey.
Go on, Natty. Teach them.
Yo, check it. The Constitution was written for the Anglo-Saxons to have freedom in America from under the grips of Britain.
Facts.
That means white people.
Wasn't the Jewish and the white and the Anglo. All right, that's the only reason. Everyone here that was here already was indigenous.
Facts.
So listen, I am a resident. I reside within the citizenry of North America, but I'm not a citizen. Understand the wordplay? Because the citizen, you claim to be the citizen, and you claiming to be a slave of the state.
No, sir. A citizen just means you're a resident.
No, it means you're owned by the state. If the state make a law, you have to abide by that. You just said it. Hold on. Let me finish talking, please. I know I sat in here. You say if a person born in a state, they still got to do what the state want them to do because whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, if you're a citizen of that state, that's what you have to do. What the
Right.
state wants you to do. That makes you a slave. If someone wants you to
No,
do
you're
something,
not
and
a
you have to do.
slave. You
Hold
do
on,
not have a
brethren.
choice when you're
Let
slave.
me. You don't have a choice when you're a citizen. If they tell you
No,
you
you
can't speak
can
Swedish, you
leave.
can't.
Nobody makes you be a citizen of any
Hold on.
state here in America. You can easily leave.
Man, I'm telling you, man.
You can live whatever you can live wherever you want to. If you want to go
I'm trying
move to
I'm trying to
Jamaica, you
lead you
can.
somewhere.
If you want to go to China, you can. You
See,
do not have choices
with
if
all
you're
of the
slaves.
with all of the distractions you're giving me is trying to lead me to different conversations, and I'm trying to stay on one point. I'm too small brained, small minded to be multitasked like you try to place me. I don't want to go there. Let me deal with one thing at a time with you, please, big brother.
But first on the slavery thing, slaves do not have choices. Okay, they don't have options.
All right, check this out. If you go outside and a man make a law and say today, all right, and a man say, yo, whoop, 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 and boop. And you wake up in the morning and you gotta do your daily routine and you don't know nothing about whoop, 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 and boop. And you break the law, you ain't have no chance to leave to go no place. You got straight to jail. They ain't give you a chance to walk or go no place. What you telling me you free? You're not free. Come out of the perception of imagination and come into reality with me, bro. Because we want to relate with you just like we want to receive from you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, unfortunately, your analogy is flawed because you said that they didn't give you a chance to know what the laws are, but they do. They're written down and they're available to anybody to read at any time.
Right.
So you do know what the laws are, and you have the choice to go by the laws and abide the laws or not to. And if you don't like them, you can easily find you somewhere else to live that does have the laws in which you feel you can agree to live by.
But it's not true freedom if you're dictated by the laws that you have. Even like you know, if you want to do something and the law prevents you from not doing it, then you're not really free. I mean, you can sit there and try to do it, but you have to look over your shoulder to make sure. That's not like looking over your shoulder is not really true freedom.
Well, that doesn't mean you're a slave though, because you still have options and choices. Just like I said, if you don't want to abide by the laws, you can go buy an island and live on your island and follow whatever rules you want to. But if you want to be a member of a society where other people live besides you, then yes, you are going to have to follow rules of that society.
Jojo, would you like to follow up with that,
It's kind of like when Lincoln freed the slaves, but they had no rights. You understand what I'm saying? You're still kind of like in limbo.
No, you're not. It is totally
Go
different.
ahead, Steven, break it down from. Hold on, Steven, break it down for him, brother.
Right, you know what I mean? Because if you don't have any, it's just like we're indentured service. You know, that's what we were fighting for. Even though we weren't slaves, but the whole civil rights movement or anything else, we were fighting for something. So because the freedom is not just good enough, you have to be able to do things as well.
Correct. Yes, when slaves were originally free, the system was still imbalanced. But we've done over the years since then what we can to improve upon the beginnings, the starts.
What I want to understand, why you keep putting yourself as a slave when you was never a slave?
I'm not putting anybody as a slave.
No, listen to what I'm saying to you. You keep putting yourself as this slave was free to do so you was never
slaves,
the slave.
Slaves are not free. Slaves do not have choices.
Okay, I heard what you
let
said.
Nadi finish, Gary.
I heard what you said. Let me say what I want to say.
Go ahead, Nadi.
When you sign up for the 14th Amendment, you just put yourself into slavery.
No, sir.
As becoming a citizen. Yes.
I just told you slaves don't have choices. I have a choice to live in the United States or not to. That is my choice. If I don't want to be a citizen of this country, I can go to another country. That is me having choices.
Do all citizens hold duty to the United States of America?
Do all citizens do what?
Hold duty. Do all citizens hold... What? So if that man come out and say they want to drop every man on this place, you telling me all man can't go?
I don't know what you just said. Say it again.
If they come tell you that they
Basically, he's
drafted,
saying if they start the draft back up, because you remember back then they used to do a number draft. If your number popped up on the TV while they was doing the lottery
okay. I
draft,
didn't understand what he was
then you
saying. He
had to
said
go. Basically,
if
he's
you're
saying,
drafted.
yeah, if you drafted.
Okay. The
Right,
draft
like
pay
Muhammad
system.
taxes? Do you pay taxes?
Hold on a second. The draft system is set up due to selective services, and you have to literally be signed up through selective services. If you don't want to be a U.S. citizen, once again, you have the choice to leave the United States. Nothing
Right.
is
So why
preventing
do they
you
have
from
to force that
not
on
being
you,
a
though?
citizen.
Why do they
Sorry?
have to force? Why did they have to force that on you though? If you were born here already, you know what I mean. Why would they
Force
have
you
to
to
First
do
of
force?
all,
something that.
first of all, you have to be over 18 to do selective service. And they're saying if there's any able-bodied man and there is a war and our military is
But
depleted and we need
the
more
lottery
soldiers.
draft is not selective service. Lottery draft, if they call,
Lot,
if
that
they if
is
they if,
selective service.
well, whatever the fuck the shit is, they call your fucking birthday, you gotta go.
Right.
It don't matter if you're 27, if you're 35. If they
Right.
call
That's
if they call July, if
hold
they
on,
call
that's
July
if
21st,
yeah, listen, that's
and
if
if you're the second son,
listen, that's
the second
if
son, right? The second
yeah,
son
listen,
goes.
hold
The
on,
second-
listen.
not the
listen,
first
that's
one, but
if
the second
that's
son.
hold on, listen, a draft if the military is depleted and we're in a war.
Yeah, that means the military don't got no fucking
No,
manpower.
no, that ain't only that. It ain't only that.
I just have an
And
example.
article.
What's your opinion on this? Okay, like Muhammad Ali he got drafted, right? And I remember him saying, "Well, I didn't want to go fight them people. They never did anything to me."
Well,
You know what I mean?
I feel him on that, but a war is on a bigger scale. It's not just you; it's the whole country. That's why I never consider myself to go sign up for the army because fuck that. I'm not
Right,
fighting. I'm not fighting for
drafted.
the political opinions of presidents and senators because they want to go over here and protect some oil or save these people. I don't know what the fuck they got going on. I got enough of cops killing black people over here in America. I got enough of goddamn my goddamn cousins and nephews and shit selling drugs, pulling out guns. I'm trying to teach them to do the right thing. I got a lot of shit going on over here, which is a war within my environment and the realm I'm in, and I don't have time to indulge into a political war over something a bunch of old snobby motherfuckers goddamn getting they Starbucks coffee, going to sit at a desk talking about what they think is best for America, and they don't even really know what the fuck is best for America because they couldn't walk a day in our shoes. You know what I mean?
Right, because that's why I don't look at situations like the draft. I don't look at
that's
it.
just my opinion. That's my opinion. Like,
I just wanted.
shit. I would have been just like Ali because that's what we're talking about. I would have been just like fuck that.
I want.
Put me in prison, nigga. I got some noodles, nigga. Put some on my commissary, baby. Fuck that. Nigga, I mean, no fucking noodles. Give me some Cheetos, nigga.
Hey, yo,
Man,
you don't.
them Chinese motherfuckers jumping out of trees and shit. You see, they lost Vietnam. Shouldn't have took their dumb ass over there. We lost over.
They wasn't drafted for Vietnam. There was World War.
It doesn't fucking matter. We lost over 400,000 motherfuckers in Vietnam. Them motherfuckers going over there.
No, Ali, that was Vietnam.
What?
The Ali thing was Vietnam, yeah.
Yeah, it was Vietnam.
Yeah.
Oh, you are
yeah. It was Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
They were drafted for Vietnam. That's right. We lost.
Gary, we see where you is.
Like I was wrong, man.
Gary, we see where you
I
is.
forgot. Hold on, I forgot. That's the one. That is the. Sorry about that. They did another, but they did a draft. I'm thinking about the wrong draft. Sorry.
Nah, man. Don't be trying
But here's the even bigger
I was the
problem
wrong
because
draft.
So you
Gary
see,
said-
Greg,
Wrong draft.
you be trying to prove motherfuckers wrong sometime, and you be goddamn wrong, bro. Don't be doing that, man. I know what I'm talking about, man.
Here's another thing. Gary said that we have a choice, and we don't
that's
have
not
a
a
choice.
choice.
And here's what.
Yeah,
No,
you're
meaning
right.
like if you don't like what's going on in your country, well, just get on a plane and go somewhere else. Well, there's a couple problems here. One, I don't make enough money to jump on a plane and go somewhere else.
They chopping off your dick in Morocco. You try to leave. Yo,
But listen what the court's trying to say. Go ahead, Court. Yeah.
Here's the problem. He's like, you don't like it here, and that's in stateside too. You don't like what California's doing? Go to Colorado. Okay, great. There's only a problem. My opinion, the whole country's messed up. So I want to go to Finland. That's where I want to go. Couple of problems. One, I don't have enough money to go to Finland because I can't afford it. Well, then get a better job, Court. Okay, I'm with you. But because my government said I was a bad boy and I spoke up at a protest, they stopped me from having a passport. So even if I had the money, mommy and daddy told me I can't leave because I'm a bad boy. You don't have a choice in nothing unless they give you a choice.
Thank you.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Man, you
There's
gotta
nothing
get
actually
approved for a
He set up a
passport.
scenario
Hold
where
on. You gotta
he
get approved
could
for a
lose his
passport.
passport.
I was talking
You have to approve for a passport. You have to ask for permission to get a passport. They have to review your
listen,
They have to review your application and approve this for you to go someplace.
First
Why
of
are
all,
you saying you have a choice?
Hold on. First of all, because you can call, all you have to do is get in contact with people from Finland and let them know that you are planning on moving and becoming a citizen there. They will tell you the requirements.
It's not always that easy.
I know it's not easy. It's not easy changing countries, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it.
Hey, I want to ask a question. Does Gary know that did you know that all of it is America, right? You know that from North Pole to South Pole, it's America, right?
Basically, what he's saying, you could just act like you're having a panic attack, right? And you just try to seek asylum, run over to Mexico, and be like, "Oh my goodness, I don't want to be here."
No, there is a process.
I have one question for the panel. Is Julian Assange a slave or not?
Who?
Julian Assange.
Man, I don't even know who the hell you talking about.
WikiLeaks.
You know, guy from WikiLeaks.
Oh, is he what?
A slave or not? Can he go wherever he want to go? Is he free to go wherever he wants to go?
Knowledge, you're muted.
Is he able to go wherever he wants to go?
I don't know about the situation, so I know for a fact.
We can't hear you.
You have to ask permission. You have to ask permission. You acquiescing, or the regular term is volunteering. You volunteering to be a citizen basically puts you under acts, statutes, and regulations. That makes you a government employee or a ward. A ward is a ward of the state, a child of Europe.
Right. So he's sitting up there in that embassy, right? And he's not free. Because you know how we're just talking about slavery right now, how like some people are free to do whatever they want to. And sometimes you can't. I don't know if, to me, like whatever he did wasn't all that serious enough where he should be locked up somewhere. So sometimes you don't have true freedom. You have certain freedoms, but if you speak up and the people don't like what you're saying, then you're not free anymore. Just like Edward Snowden had to bounce, right? Because he exposed something. Because there's different slaveries.
You're absolutely correct. And here's the problem. This is worldwide. And Gary, I apologize, brother. I want to keep I'm responsible for myself to stay at a higher standard. Just because I disagree with you gives me no right to lower my standard. It does confuse me a bit how everything we've said and stuff, all the paperwork we've told you to look at. And I know you're a bright brother, but it's like you aren't budging at all on anything. And it kind of screws up with my head. We've given you all these ideologies that prove and go directly against the very thing you're saying. And even the one brother, Tenkara, can go back 1,000 years and he's dropping some little gems. And it astounds me that you honestly believe, and there's nothing wrong with it, it's your opinion, but you believe that someone else has authority over me when I, one, never gave him that authority, and two, never harmed another individual. It's not as easy as just getting up and going to a brighter place. Grass is greener on the other side, and it comes down to this, and this is coming, and those of us in the know it's coming. I have a right to protect my family, and these people at the top believe they can dictate to me how I go about to do so. And they want to take a form of the way I protect my family. So when they put pen to that paper and say you can no longer have that form to protect your family, I now became an illegal entity, because if I use that form, I am now going to jail because it's illegal. And I can't believe another human being honestly believes that another human being has the right to control said first human being. That is absolutely astounding to me.
He should look up inalienable rights.
Okay, the first thing I would say is we're not saying no human being has the right to control you, but if you're going to be a member of society with other people, there are rules that
you have no choice.
I don't want to be a member of your society. I am forced.
That's what I just told you. No, you are
society.
not. No, you are not. That is a claim that you have made that you have not been able to substantiate. All you said is that I can't get a passport. Yeah, you can't get a passport.
No, Gary. So if I drive down the road and I don't want to have no tags, no insurance, no driver's license, and I don't want to deal in commerce, you telling me I break in the law still?
Yes, because hold on a second. Okay, because you don't own the roadway in which you're driving. That roadway was paid for by taxpayers' monies, and we have agreed to certain laws to protect other citizens using public roadways.
Who agreed, Gary? Who? I didn't. I didn't agree to that.
No. The majority of people agreed to enact these laws. Yes.
Okay, yo, you guys, check this out. I'm gonna do a simple analogy, okay, and I'll keep it as simple as possible.
No, run with it, brother.
I have a club, right? My club is only the people on the panel, okay, except for a few, right? Now you have to have a card. A card basically lets me know, hey, you're part of the club. There's certain rules that you have to follow when you're part of the club, right? And we're all going to get together and make sure that we bully anyone who's not a part of the club. That is because a society is a syndicate. You have to look at synonyms as well, right? It's etymology. Start from the beginning of what a word is. It's a club. It's a card-carrying club of the Bar Association, because guess what? The cops that are out there, guess what? They're hired by members of the bar, which is a club. Right?
The Bar Association doesn't hire officers.
Yo, Gary, I'm gonna tell you who writes all statutes and codes. It's lawyers. It's lawyers who write these codes and statutes. It's not people. It's not you or me. It's lawyers for the benefit and the well-being of the state, of the entity.
The club.
But you're not understanding the state. The state is the state of mind. It's not a state of a boundary.
Thank you.
No, the state is not a state. Nice. I mean, my God,
Yeah.
we're talking. We're not talking about
That's the definition in the Black Law Dictionary. It's the law in the Black Law Dictionary is the definition.
Who says we're using? I just told you. Who said we're using a Black Laws Dictionary?
Even that's if you what the laws are based on, Gary. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about?
If you read the statute, it actually includes a definition section, does it not?
Oh my goodness, bro! Wow, this guy.
So we don't need to go get a dictionary outside of the statute. The definitions are inside the statutes.
Hold on. If you write down Louisiana, hold on one moment, please. If you write to Louisiana or any of them places like that down south, you're gonna see the sign say corporation of so and so corporation. You're actually writing to each jurisdiction of corporations. A parish means corporation. A county means corporation. Come on, man. Why is you not catching on? You got to do everything and paperwork, everything and code, statute with permission. You can't build a house.
I already explained this to you with the United States. The United States has the right to function as a corporation in order for some legal entities to settle its debts. counties and parishes have the same obligation, so they also have the right to function as corporations, as departments, as commissions, as instrumentation.
Okay. And I just told you that the article of the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3, make every man, woman, and child outside of the 10-mile radius a citizen in the United States. Listen to what I'm telling you. Of commerce, make them part of commerce, make them the act of commerce. So now you are really an enemy of the government they're set in. Why are you not catching that? You're not even looking at the words and putting them together.
That's not what that means. That is your interpretation.
No, that's what it says, dude. I just told you. Go and look at
that. No. I understand what it says, but your interpretation says it makes you an enemy of the state, in which it does not. That is your interpretation that no one else agrees with you on.
Listen. What is the United States for?
What do you mean? What is the United States
for? What do the United States Congress actually represent? The people, right?
It's appointed by people. It's composed of people appointed by the people.
All right. What I'm saying, but it's representative of the people, right?
Right. We send our representative to.
I'm trying to get to a point. They represent the people, right?
The representatives, yes.
All right. Once they represent the people and they only orchestrate business within a 10-mile radius. Anything outside of that 10-mile radius is now commerce. It's not the people any longer. It's the enemy of the people.
No, understand that is your flawed interpretation of it.
Blah. Okay, Virgin. I yield.
Natty, do you have like a YouTube and stuff like that? I'd like to go check out some of your videos, because basically it's like it seems like you have enough knowledge on that.
I live this thing every day, and I know all this thing here. This is my life. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's loopholes to everything, and that's how it's made by man, so it's breakable. You know what I mean? It has no standing.
I study it every day too, because basically I study for my life. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to it, if they're going to use the law, right, which is an actual regulation that's going to try and say and govern me, then I'm going to use that to protect me.
Exactly, man. Exactly. That's what you have to do. That's the tool. You want to fight with this tool?
No, we can't hear you, Knowledge.
So I want to know, do you have a YouTube?
Can't hear you, Knowledge.
Videos.
Knowledge has been trying to speak, but I can't hear him.
Yeah, I have a little thing there. It ain't much. It's just a little something there. But I plan on doing something soon, you know?
Yeah, man. You might have to drop out and come back in, because I can't hear you.
Is it possible to get your email on the back chat?
Yeah. I put it in, big brother. I put it in there.
Okay. I'll send you something.
Still can't hear you, Knowledge.
I'll send you what I've been working on, because basically what I've noticed is that
did your mic go dead?
What's that?
Your mic is dead. Can you plug it up, Knowledge? His mic is out.
With his phone, I think. Right.
I've noticed that we were given a contract.
Knowledge said his mic is out. Is that what you're saying? Your mic is out? Yeah, Knowledge's mic is out. He's been trying to talk for a few minutes. I couldn't hear him. So let me open up the side chat. Does this think I got a side chat?
Go ahead and hit your mute one time, Gary, and deal with it.
It's not me. It's Knowledge. Knowledge can't speak.
No, I'm saying, can you hit him on a back chat or whatever and hit your mute?
No, there's a side chat here.
There we go.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, what you were saying, Virgin?
Is that it seems to me that the contract.
I had to come in through my phone, man.
All right. Glad to have you back.
I had to come in through my phone because I don't know, the mic done froze up on my fucking computer, man.
But could you hear us talking still, or what?
Yeah, I can hear y'all talking, but it wouldn't let me say shit. It wouldn't let me say nothing, do nothing. So I'm logged in right now on my other YouTube channel, the Screaming Tigers Club. Yo, if y'all ain't subscribed to Screaming Tigers Club, make sure you subscribe to the Screaming Tigers Club Just type in Screaming Tigers Club, and if you see Knowledge Uprising, that's the channel right there with the tiger screaming. I am back. Yeah, man. I don't know what happened. I got like 3 different mics. I got these.
Knowledge. Let me ask you something. Knowledge. Let me ask you something. Did you leave yourself logged in for your Knowledge Uprising?
Yeah. No, I'm still logged into my computer. Hold on.
Okay, because I was going to say after 5 minutes it'll kick everybody out and take you off.
No. The last couple
it's not gonna kick you out.
The last few shows we've done on this subject, my internet goes out the second the show is over. My internet comes on. I've been having problems.
Well, my internet not gonna go out. I got some good ass shit. And yo, this shit look kind of dope, right? Hold on, let me see how this shit look on lens. Damn, I'm gonna have to do this more often. Yeah, I'm trying to get the right angle because I'm not using my laptop camera. I don't know, and the lighting looks weird.
Put it on a higher angle so you don't look up your nose.
Yeah. It's looking up the nose of my boogers and shit. like
yeah,
that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you coming in clear.
Yeah, you are clear.
Hold on, I'm blurry.
No, you clear.
Okay,
I'm good.
He must have one of them iPhones.
yo, they got the iPhone 9 coming out this year and the iPhone 12. For real.
I don't know why they do the mod numbers like that. Doesn't make any sense.
I was gonna ask Naki a question. When it came down to it, it seems like there's a contract been opened up under my name, right? And that made me a minor. And at 18, I never changed or corrected the status of my birth certificate from minor to major. And I'm just asking, could that be the problem of this whole situation that's going on with a large amount of us still being in our minor status, because only a babysitter or a minor needs a babysitter. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, definitely. I know where you're coming from when you say that. I really don't know how the process will work in Canada, but I'm thinking it's basically the same because they got the same format everywhere. You know, everything leads back to the same place. It's
exactly the same. It's exactly the same reason being is that if you understand back in the day that the Royal Proclamation 1751 basically put down the guidelines of how to govern these Europeans. You see what I'm saying? And they violated that trust and that treaty that the king of their country laid out when they came over here and actually created a prison colony in the first place. It's not Australia was the first prison colony. This was the first prison colony. Now, the way we have the organization of our Congress and all that kind of stuff, you have to remember that stuff came straight out of Rome. Okay? And the Vatican has apothecated all the land from North Pole to South Pole, and anybody keeps talking. He keeps my brother Gary keeps saying that, oh, if you don't like America, you can just leave. You can go somewhere else. Now you have to understand, you don't like United States. Now it's the United States of Canada, it's the United States of Mexico, it's the United States of Brazil, and so on and so on. United States of Jamaica. You see what I'm saying? Now it was the Continental Congress that governed America. The corporation came in and took over because they walked out. We're still on recess. We don't have our government. We have a corporation running an interim government at the moment. That's what Gary doesn't understand. Because the Constitution lays out certain things, but the thing is that they're not following the Constitution. They're following acts, statutes, and regulations, even though they're supposed to make an oath to uphold the Constitution. Do you understand?
Yeah. I understand that.
Well, that's why they're using executive orders for everything, because we've never gone back into session.
Thank you. So the Continental Congress because it used to be United States of America. That means that Brazil was in Congress, Mexico was in Congress, Jamaica was in Congress, all of them was in Congress. Are actual federal corporations, man. They're corporations. They violated the trust from the freaking Royal Proclamation. That's where the Civil War came in. The only way you can have a civil war is if me and you are fighting, not Europeans.
You're talking. There's two different wars. You seem to be confusing the Revolutionary War and the Civil War together.
Gary, let's do this, brother. We sit here for 45 minutes. We say for 45 minutes, argue. We know you're not going to agree with us. Let's do this if you don't mind. With all due respect, you're the only one on the panel that disagrees with us, and that's not a bad thing. Let us talk about what we're doing so we don't get sided. If we're wrong, you have nothing to worry about, brother. Let us be wrong, but let us go through what we do.
Court, let me tell you something. There was another Flat Earth hangout that I went to before I came to Bro Sanchez and Dredd. Now they were called Flat Out Elected, and they isolated themselves away from everyone. They just pretty much sit in the room and circle jerk to each other, all agreeing, building upon their ideas, all in a room. You know where that group is now? They're gone. Because if you isolate yourself and sit there and just reaffirm your own ideals, you'll end up by yourself, and then eventually you'll end up with no group at all.
I like being by myself and no group at all. My point is,
no, you don't. You're in a group. You just simply want to circle jerk.
Gary, you are distracting. Did you
listen? Did you just hear what the person in the hangout just said? He said there couldn't have been a civil war because that would be me and you fighting, not us in Europe fighting. When we fought the European, that was the Revolutionary War. The Civil War.
Why we gotta have war? We don't want war.
Because we wanted our revolution.
He was getting to a point that has now been sidetracked.
But he was
Gary,
wrong. But he was wrong.
Another half an hour.
In court, you know there's a difference between the Revolutionary War and the Civil War.
They're both bullshit.
They're not both bullshit.
The what you've been told they were about is not what they were about.
Exactly.
Oh my God! Now you're going to say that the
Revolutionary War is basically you fighting against your king. Okay.
No, yes.
You're a convict fighting against your king. You're either
if we would have lost the Revolutionary War, George Washington and all those boys would have been considered traitors and killed.
They were.
Listen, man, that was them. That wasn't the indigenous people on this territory. That was them trying to set up their own business of government. You didn't understand it. They was trying to come over and take over the whole of the United States, but the whole of the United States already was in being inhabited by well-developed people. When they came over here,
they were the United States were occupied by the American Indians. So what are you talking about?
So they weren't advanced. It wasn't advanced civilization. Is that what you're saying? That the Aboriginals that were here were in advance?
The American Indians? No, they were. No, they
savages, right? According to you, right? Savages, right?
I didn't say they were savages. They just wasn't well established. They didn't have.
So where did all the thousands of pyramids come from? Savages.
Which pyramids?
The pyramids all across America.
There's no pyramids in America. Are you talking about the ones in South America?
No, man, you need to learn. You need to learn your home before you actually go to talk about your home, Gary. You got to learn
I live in America. Where in America is there pyramids?
Look up mounds, nigga. Look up mounds.
What?
Look up mounds.
I'm talking actual pyramids, man. I'm talking ziggurats. I'm talking mounds. I'm talking, you don't know that we were an advanced civilization before a foreign occupation decided to go against their royalty or their king of their land, okay, to create a government that is now messing with the people.
Okay.
You think you've just been a slave since 1980, bro. Did you know that? When Roots came up.
No, you're not. Oh my
Gary,
God. You are bastardizing the word slave. Everything to you is a slave.
I'm not gonna talk.
Before the black man, right?
What?
Oh, give me a moment. Let me deal with him one more time on this, and I hope he can understand what I'm saying. Gary. The whole Constitution, period. It wasn't built for you. It was built for a foreign entity due to the letters of Marquette and Reprisal, which is the age of sail. These was pirates. In this letter was stipulating that any person, private person, had the right to go and take over a next ship. So they looked at America as a ship that was already occupied.
No.
Listen to me, man. You have to do the study. If you're just gonna go on what they teach you first through 8th grade, it's not gonna get you where you really need to go. Now, this same Constitution, which I told you, the 3rd clause made every Indian tribe, every state thereof, and every foreign state or government in this land right here, an act of commerce. Why you can't understand that?
Okay.
So now
first of all, when we first broke away from the British, we did not have a constitution. We had the Articles of Confederate. They did not work. It did not actually help to fund the actual government.
10 years old, and it basically runs the continent. The Iroquois Constitution and the Coosa Constitution is the constitution that runs the continent. You live in America, which is a continent, not a quadrant.
I don't know why he's not understanding what I'm telling him. He understand, but he just want to fight.
No, I understand you have your opinion. Your opinion is that of a minority position that no one else holds. Once again, when the United States was first formed, we did not have a constitution. We had the Articles of Confederate. The problem with the Articles of Confederate is they gave more power to the states, and the government was left powerless. Eventually, after multiple tries, we were able to form a constitution, which actually empowered the government, not just the
empowered
states.
Corporation, not the government, man. The government is the continent. What's wrong with you? It's the Continental Congress. Continental means the continent.
Not 13 states. Not 13 states, dude.
We were not in control of the entire country.
Wow. Oh my goodness. You are definitely a person of impeccable interest, because honestly, I understand. Now I understand MK Ultra programming.
How the hell can you make a motherfucking Continental Congress if you're not in control of the entire continent? We had to buy part of the United States from Napoleon. We had to take over part of it from Mexico. What the hell are you talking about?
That's where we're trying to show you that it was incorporated in France.
We are not incorporated. There are still some of this continent that runs under somewhat of the French monarchy in Canada.
We are incorporated. That's how we can do business.
We are not incorporated. We can function as a corporation. It is necessary in order to settle some of our debts. Without it, we cannot function. It's the same reason why we ended up having to get rid of the Articles of Confederate, because they gave the United States no power.
Do you understand what you're saying is what I just told you what Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3 just did?
Why do you keep mentioning
because it's the same thing what you're saying that United States can be. What are you not understanding, man? It's the same thing. They did do that, place business upon the people outside of the 10-mile radius. Why are you not understanding that?
Do you understand? Do you understand when the state was first formed and we were underneath the Articles of Confederate, the United States government as a whole had almost no power. They couldn't collect any taxes. That's why the government stayed broke. You understand that, right? The government was broke. The states had more. The states. It was like there were 13 mini damn countries that were supposed to be a united
government. It's a stolen government. It's a stolen government. You're in a corporation. It's a stolen government.
That is the claim that you keep making, that no historian, no one else agrees with you. That is just your simple opinion that you cannot back up.
Because I have facts.
It is an opinion. You do not have facts. There is no one else that supports what you are saying. It's just like I keep telling you, the reason why, if you listen for a second, the reason why they got rid of the Articles of Confederation, the reason why they got rid of the Articles of Confederate is because it gave more power to the states. It was like having 13 mini countries that were supposed to be a single country.
Gary, why you keep repeating the Confederate laws? No one is talking about that.
Because they keep bringing up that we are under
I'm telling you what's in the Constitution. I'm telling you what's in the Constitution.
Right. The Constitution.
Hold up. What come and verify it even more is the rewriting of Article 28 in 1871. So what I'm trying to show you, man, you keep trying to get out of something that was written twice in your Constitution to keep you verified or validated as a citizen, which is a piece of commerce. I don't understand why you're not taking it. This is why you have to pay taxes. Because you have to pay taxes. Hold on. You have to pay taxes on everything you purchase, right?
Texas, yes.
Okay. So if you have to pay taxes even to live as a citizen, you're not paying taxes on the commerce.
What? Hold on, wait a minute.
You are the commerce. Hold on.
Before you go on, which taxes are you talking about? Are you talking about federal income tax? Are you talking about state sales tax? Are you talking about state tax?
No, hold up.
Under a single umbrella like this. One kind of tax.
I'm gonna answer you.
Specify which kind of tax.
I'm gonna answer you. So you don't pay no state, federal, or local tax?
Texas does not have a state tax.
Okay, Texas don't have a state tax. Do you? Because Texas is a sovereign state. You're a citizen of a sovereign state. Understand that. You're not the citizen of the United States. Hold on, man. Hold on. What are you talking about? Now you're gonna fight that too, huh? Why you think you don't pay taxes? Why you think you don't pay taxes to the state? Because the state ain't part of it.
Listen, because you're a little confused. Little confused. Let me help you out.
Calm down, y'all. Everybody, calm down.
Oh, somebody's echoing bad. Okay, listen. Not all states have. Somebody's echoing.
You gotta mute your mic.
Mute my mic.
Yeah, it's echoing.
Okay, not all states have sales tax. Okay, Wyoming is one of the few states that don't have a state tax. Wyoming is one of the few states that don't have a state tax or a property tax. Texas, we don't do state taxes. We have property taxes here. They charge you taxes on your property. Not all states have property tax, and not all states have state tax. But when you do play federal.
Can you show me the law that says you have to pay taxes? I just want to ask because I've asked many tax collectors, and they can't show me that. They always hang up on me for some reason.
Can you which law that says what?
Can you show me the law where it states that you have to pay tax? The law. I want actual, the written law.
Which tax are you talking about?
Any tax.
Yes, the taxes you pay every day. When you go in the store, you pay taxes.
That's a sales
anytime tax. You pay for something, you pay for taxes.
Yeah, that's a sales tax, and that varies by state. So you would have to go into the state to figure out where.
So basically, he's saying where in the law.
And actually, the person who charges. Hold on. Listen, the person who charges you sales tax is going to be the business, and the business has to get permission to charge you sales tax.
Okay, Gary. So, do you pay federal taxes?
I pay federal income tax.
All right, check this out. So, what business you think you paying taxes to, and for what product?
What are you talking about? I pay federal income tax on the amount of income that I make.
You don't get the question I just asked again. What business are you paying taxes out of your mouth? What business are you paying taxes to?
Hold
up. And what merchandise are you paying taxes for?
Okay, First of all, businesses don't charge taxes. Businesses collect taxes. They don't pay taxes. You know what I'm saying?
Did you just say the business that you paying taxes to? Bum 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 bum. You didn't say that.
Listen, I just told you that businesses charge you sales tax and have to get permission to collect
Okay.
that tax
When
from
you
the state.
when you
And
pay
it
government,
varies by state. The
when
rate
you
of tax
Collecting
varies per
tax,
state.
then
In
you are
Texas,
I'm
in Texas, our
I'm
sales
trying to
tax
get
is
to a
8.
point.
Okay,
I'm trying to
listen.
get to a point.
Hold on.
I'm trying to get to a point. I don't care about the
Texas,
Texas
Gary,
taxes.
let
you're
him say
talking
what he
about
gonna say, bro.
Texas. You're talking
Gary,
about
hold on.
Texas.
Pause it, Gary. Hold on, brother, Gary. I know you ready to go in, Gary. Let's see what he got to say. Let's see what Nani got to say. Go ahead, Nani.
Gary, when you pay federal taxes, you're paying taxes to a business, right? You don't think
No,
that again? Okay,
no,
so you
no.
just
You're
hold
not
up.
paying into a
Okay,
business.
okay. Well, when far as your terminology of paying taxes to someone, you ain't paying taxes to your next door neighbor. You're paying taxes to a business whenever you want to buy
No,
something.
no, sir.
That's the reason I'm paying taxes.
I've
Anyway,
said it
what
3
I'm gonna say,
times that no, you are
let me
not paying
finish
to a
talking. Let
business.
me finish talking. When you paying for something or taxes on something, you're paying taxes for a merchandise or a product. What product do you believe you're actually paying to the government for? The product of a name in capital letters, all caps, that you're representing as a citizen, or you just think you paying taxes because it's a law?
Okay, so you're just going to keep asking me loaded questions. Is that your thing?
Go ahead, Gary, and rebuttal.
Well, he's asking me loaded questions. He might as well ask me when's the last time I stopped beating my wife. It's just a loaded question. I've already explained to him that the taxes he's talking about, sales tax, is regulated by the state, not the federal government. Okay, the federal government does not take sales tax on merchandise. That is state by state. In Texas, our sales tax is 8.25%. I can't say what it is for other states because I don't live in other states. And I now I think about it, I don't even know if every state has a sales tax because some states don't. It varies from state to state.
Do you pay property tax? Do you own your own property?
Yes, I pay property. Texas does charge property tax.
Okay, so now that would state that you don't own your property, correct? It doesn't
No,
matter
that
if
does
you
not.
pay it off, you're still
No,
going to
that does
pay
not
property
say
tax, right?
that because not all states charge property tax.
But I'm asking
That
you.
varies from state to state.
He's asking you, Gary, not
I
state to
just
state.
I
You.
just answered his question. In
And
Texas, they do charge property tax in Texas.
he
Not
asked you
every,
another
and I
question.
told him not every state charges property tax, and it does not matter whether or not your state charges property tax or not. That does not mean you do not own the property in which you live on.
It's still a tax, right?
Yes, it's still a
And the
tax.
tax is collected on something
So,
that's certified.
Gary, you saying basically at the end of the day, if the government won't and they see fit and they see interest in that area, they can just come and take your land, take your house, and just
No,
throw you the fuck out.
no. It's just
They
like I
can't
just
because
told.
it's a
Depending
citizen.
on which state, listen. Like if you stay in Wyoming, Wyoming is the least taxed state in the whole country, from my understanding. They don't have a state tax, and they don't require you to pay property tax. They do have a sales tax, though. Okay, that's if you want to stay up there in Wyoming. You won't have to pay a state tax. You won't have to pay a property tax, but you will have to pay sales tax, and that's it. That's the only tax that they collect in Wyoming. Now here in Texas, we don't have a state tax, but we have property and sales tax. California has all three:
So
property,
therefore,
state,
you
and
never
sales
own your
tax.
property because you are always going to be paying property tax. Even if you pay off your house, you're still going to be paid property tax. Why? Because you do not own your
No,
house.
it's
Mr.
because
Chatham.
the state, that is the state law. We could easily change it and say instead of property tax, we're going to charge you a state tax. There are different ways that states decide to collect revenue in order to maintain the state.
So revenue,
To pay
in
for
order to collect
schools, to
revenue,
pay
you
for
have to be
fire
a business,
departments, to pay
correct?
for police
In order,
departments, to pay for hospitals.
okay.
There,
So now, in order to collect revenue, you have to act as a business, correct?
No, the state. See, this is why I was
in
trying.
order to
Listen,
deal with
this is
anything
why I
dealing
was
with money,
trying to.
in order
Hold on,
to
listen.
have, in order for that person who's selling a product is collecting, you said that they're collecting taxes. They collect
Yes.
tax, right? Okay,
Yes.
so now in order for them to collect tax, they have to be a part of the government. To collect tax, they have to have a tax ID number.
No.
Yes, they do.
Listen. See,
Okay.
this is why you don't seem to
You're not
understand the system.
understanding.
Hold on. No, you're not understanding the system. The government says when you sell a product to people of this state, that the government, as a way for us to collect revenue in order
And what is
to
that?
operate our state, that
What's
we're
it
going
called?
to tax that we're going to tax the goods that you sell.
What is
you
that?
have to. So you have to, if you sell goods in our state, we say we get a small slice of that, 8.25%. Which
Fine.
means you have
What
to
is that called?
register with the state that you will be selling products to our citizens,
And
that
the
we
term,
get
you
a
need to tell me what the term
8.25%
is.
cut of that.
What
I'm
is all
sorry?
that called then? What is all that called? Collecting money, doing all that stuff, taxing. What is that called? Isn't it called commerce?
The selling of the goods is called commerce, yes. Not the collecting of the taxes, no.
Thank you. Okay, now we're agreeing on something. If I get a computer, it has to be certified as a computer, yes? That makes it certified that it's a computer. Now I could sell it, right?
Correct.
Okay, if I have a lighter, if I make a lighter and I freaking put it on the market, I'm basically now having the ability to create income on that lighter. When I sell it, it has to be certified as a lighter, correct?
Correct.
Okay, anything I deal with, car, bike, you name it. You name it, it's commerce, right? It has
Right.
to be certified, and then I could sell it, right?
Right. For you, selling it to the public is commerce, correct? Yes.
Thank you. Now, I have a baby. You give me a piece of paper that says it's certified baby. That there is a bond.
No.
Now I could basically trade that on the stock market, right? Because now I can basically certify my property, which is a baby. Now I can sell it, correct?
Wrong. First of all, here in the state of Texas, once again, I don't know what state you're in. When you go to the hospital and you have a baby, the hospital gives you a piece of paper that is pretty much worthless to the state.
Certificate.
No.
Certificate.
Hold on. Listen. No.
Of live birth.
Right. They give you that. But to the state of Texas, it's a worthless piece of paper. You can't do anything with it.
Oh, but it's okay for them to trade it on the stock market as a bond.
No, listen.
Why is the birth certificate printed on bond?
Thank you.
Hold
So,
on. Listen. You're not listening. Listen. You're not listening.
That everything I make, it is certified. And basically, I can sell it.
You're not listening. You just cut me off because you think what you just heard me say is what you heard. You heard what you wanted to hear. Here,
answered.
Listen. You won't stop talking to listen. You keep cutting me off and you can't hear my answer.
Ultra works.
Because
the reason why I'm saying
let Gary break it down.
I'm trying to break it down to you.
Go ahead.
In the state of Texas, the birth certificate given at the hospital is worthless. You can keep it as a keepsake. You can keep it because you got it from the hospital. They'll step your little baby's feet on the bottom of it. It is a worthless piece of paper. It means nothing. You can't even use it for anything. After you get your Social Security card, you must go down to a state registered office and register for a state issued birth certificate. What they give you at the hospital is nothing. The state of Texas does not care. They issue you their own birth certificate with a state seal on it. You do not get that at the hospital. You are responsible for going and getting a state issued birth certificate after.
You can be bought and sold, right?
No, you cannot be bought and sold.
Let me tell him something. Let me say something, Gary. Even though that child born in at the hospital and in Texas, and you say it go like the way you say it go, the hospital still register that child with the state. When you go, hold up. Let me finish, dude. So when you go to the state, your registry number is already documented. Yes, it is, man.
That's what. No, I'm telling
Gary, let him finish. Gary. Let him finish, Gary.
How many of y'all are from Texas?
Gary, hold on, Gary. Let
he wants us to
let
be
Naughty
quiet.
finish what he's saying. Let Naughty get to his point.
Yeah, but he's
I
wrong.
got,
That's not
I
how it
got,
works.
I got,
Just
I got two.
Just hold on before you say he wrong. Let him get to his point. Then you can say he wrong. Let him finish what he's saying. Then you can go, brother. Go ahead.
I got two kids born in Fort Worth, Texas, dude.
Mhm.
I went and signed both of them birth paper, and I know and I know the whole process of going down there to register. They already numbered is registered from the hospital because the hospital has to document and report that to the statistics of the state. So what are you saying is if I don't go in there and let them be known that I'm registering this under my own content or my own I supporting this fully, they could come after me, send the Texas Family Services and all of them things to the nearest address that the hospital have to come after me to find out what's going on with the child well-being of the child. Because again, the child is already turned over to the state because it's born in one of the state hospitals.
No, listen. When
So it's
if
state
you hold on,
property off
if
rip.
you had
State
your
property
children
off rip.
burnt, the only thing that
Gary,
happens when
mute
your
your mic,
child is
Gary. Let the
born.
man finish, man.
No, I'm just telling. Anytime your child is born here in Texas, the only thing that you get registered at the hospital is for a Social Security card. That's it. That's the first thing you get is a Social Security card. As
And
far
what's
as
a
they,
social security card? What do you think a social security card is?
it registers you as a United States citizen. You're issued your citizenship, your number.
So you're not a citizen until you get your Social Security number. Is that what you're saying?
Soon as you born, once again, you become a citizen. As soon as you're born, but you have to have that
Then
documentation.
what do you need that document for if you're already a citizen?
What do you? As soon as you're born, you become a citizen, and you are issued a Social Security card.
It doesn't understand that social security card is exactly like the North American number, which is a social insurance number, and it gives me the opportunity or the ability to be a good worker.
No, sir.
Okay,
No,
here,
that is
Gary,
your
Gary,
interpretation, and it is wrong.
Here, check this out. We don't have to scream. You're working on a legal level, so I want to give you, and I'm not going to give my opinion. I want you, because you know more about the legalese than I do. I'm going to give you the legal definition of certificate, because when we are born, we get a birth certificate. So it's right on the internet.
When you are,
listen to me. Listen, no, I don't.
Kurt, I just told you when you're born.
I haven't talked the whole time. All I'm asking you to do is decipher this definition for me, what it means to you.
Where's the definition coming from?
It's coming from Legal Dictionary, the freedictionary.com. And it
freedictionary.com?
Okay, just come on, Gary, stop it. Certificate, a written document that is official verification that a condition or requirement has or has not been met. A written assurance issued from a court that is notification to another officer, judge, or court of procedures practiced therein. What would you tell me what that means?
What do you mean? You just read the definition. What part of it did you
understand? He read you the definition. Now, Gary, basically, he wants you to break it down for him. Break down that definition and hell.
Well, there were two definitions in there. The first one was saying that, right? Because one was for a court and the other one was for...
I'll tell you the first one. It's two within the same definition. A written document that is official verification that a condition or requirement has or has not been met.
Right. So that's for a documentation.
Now give us an example of an everyday thing that pertains to that, Gary. You know, like bring the definitions to life. That's what he wants you to do. That's what
put it in layman's language so I can comprehend.
Yeah. So everybody that is tuning in to the broadcast.
Yeah, I'd like to know the simple aspect of it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's written in plain language. I'm not understanding
which
aspect
not
of
plain
the document.
Language, but what is plain language to the average person? So
basically, from what I heard from the first definition, it's just a document where you have either that's saying that you have met a certain set of criteria. Huh?
What was the first document called?
No, it just said a document. It didn't specify
No,
which
no, he
document.
did. He did. He called it a document. It was a specific document. I'm not going to name the document, but he did say it was a
document that is official.
No, you said a certificate.
Right. No, the definition of certificate.
Yeah. All right, no certificate, Gary. Come on now.
A written document.
Pay attention, Gary.
Yeah, I know. He said it was a document.
You're supposed to be able to break this shit down now.
Wait a minute. If it's a document, how can it be something?
No, hold on. Wait. Stop. Let him finish the definition before you.
Why do you keep interrupting?
A written document.
It is saying this is. It's not asking. It is.
Is there another document besides a written one?
A written document that is official verification that a condition or requirement has or has not been met.
Has or has not been met, Gary.
The second part of it, it's two sentences. It doesn't say A and B or one or two. It's just two sentences right after the word certificate. It says a written assurance, ASS, not insurance like their vehicle, assurance issued from a court that is notification to another officer, judge, or court of procedures practiced therein.
So that means officer is higher than a judge. One officer is somebody elected.
No, it says or. Yeah. It clearly says or.
No, it says to another officer, comma, judge, comma, or court of procedures practiced therein.
Right. It means it's including all of those things. It's not putting either one of them higher or lower.
But you still got to be. But listen, what he just read, Gary, they wanted you to break it down to the people that couldn't understand it. You know, the simple explanation for it, man. Come on now, Gary.
So what does this mean based on that definition? With
Gary, he's asking you, what does that mean, Gary? He's giving you the definition. Break it down for us.
Okay, the first part of it seems to be a piece of paper written out, saying that you've met a certain criteria or you have not met a certain criteria.
Okay.
Basically, that's what a certificate is, right?
And what about I'm just asking, what about the second part?
The second one seems to be same thing, something written out in between a court, an officer, or what was the other one?
No, it's issued, Gary. Issued.
Right. It's issued. Well, it's an issued assurance from a court, an officer, or I can't remember the other one. What was the other one?
Officer, a judge.
To a court or an officer. To them. It's assurance to them. Not to everyone else, to them.
Yes, confirmation. Okay. Assurance, confirmation.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's basically saying it's a piece of paper given to a court or an officer showing that you have, I guess, met the criteria. Assurance is to them that you are qualified to do the fit whatever criteria there.
So then, okay, I'm getting there. So my next question would be, when I was born, I can only speak for me in the state of Michigan. My parents were given for me, they were the custodians of it, a birth certificate. What does that piece of paper mean and why do I need it?
That would fall under the assurance things. They were assuring that, I guess, a court or an officer or anyone else that you were born.
Okay, well, why is it any of their business? I thought it was only between my mom, my dad, and my doctor.
And God.
Well,
Hold on.
anybody else that isn't your mom, your dad, or God, how are they supposed to know you were born?
Hey, stop it. No, I'm going to say this. The certificate is a piece of paper notifying that you have met or have not met the requirements, which is issued to a court officer or judge or basically a federal agent, period.
Yes.
So when that certificate is issued to your parents, which is a court, is a federal agent. It's issued back to the federal agents. It ain't saying they're gonna issue it to your parents or they issue it to your mom or issue it to your dad. It said it's gonna issue it to the agent of the courts.
No,
Understand it? Oh man,
hold on.
Read it again, Court. Read it again. Read it again. Let him read it again.
Hold on. We broke it down, and they even made sure I understood that it said it was an assurance to them, to a court, to a judge, to a officer.
Again, who is it given to? The court assurance to them. Listen,
it assures to the court to them.
Okay,
No,
read it
not
again,
I'm
Court.
making coffee.
Read it again, Court. Read it again.
It says,
sure.
This is just the definition of the word certificate.
Right.
A written document, not a written piece of paper. A written
It's the same thing. The document is a people.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't. A document is only can be.
So if it's a document, it can be on anything. It's a written document.
Wait a minute. Wait a
That's what I
minute.
mean.
You guys, a written document that is official, not just a piece of paper between me and Bob. A written document that is official.
Something that's been notarized. Okay, something that's been notarized. Okay.
Yeah, government.
A document that's been notarized. Okay.
That a condition.
But it doesn't necessarily mean it's been on paper. It could be by bond, just like if we taking in blood. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But here's my thing. A written
That's
document.
gang shit.
A written document that is official verification that a condition, we don't know what that condition is, or requirement, we don't know what that is, has or has not been met. A written assurance issued from a court that is notification to another officer, judge, or court of procedures practice therein. So the reason I wanted Gary to break this down is because I don't know this language, and the way it sounds to me is an official document was written to verify something of which I do not know, and that written assurance is issued from the court.
It's in two parts.
But still, listen to it. It sounds crazy as fuck, and it makes you think. Break it down, Gary. Come on now.
Well, no, that's what I'm telling. The way he's reading it, he's trying to like merge it. Like it's in two parts. It's saying what the first part is that it's in
two sentences in one
two
definition.
sections. It sounds like it's two sections.
There's no A, no B, no section 1 or 2. It is two sentences.
Like a semicolon.
A period comes and a new word appears afterwards. A written document that is official verification that a condition or requirement has, comma, or has not, comma, been met. Period.
You read it. You said it had to be official. It said it's an official
verification. Next,
it's official verification. It didn't say it's official. It said
if you, in my understanding, I may be wrong. This is why I wanted you to answer it for me because I'm not at that level. In my understanding, when there's another sentence after the first, it would seem to me that it would go along with the first. It is not categorically set as 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. So it continues.
Well, there's a little bit of a problem here because, first of all, definitions don't say what words mean or anything. They say usages. So they're literally describing you. They're literally describing you how the word is being used.
All I want you to do is explain to me what the definition means. The definition continues to say a written assurance issued from a court that is notification to another officer, judge, or court of procedures practiced therein.
The only part I'm a little confused on is the court of procedure. I would need to know what they mean when they say that.
Well, I would assume in what I would think of, wouldn't a court of procedure.
Damn, Gary, I thought you would have known that.
I just told you what a court of procedure is. It's placed anyone that's under federal rule as a federal agent. Anyone placed under federal rule as a federal agent.
I think that would fall under official because see, official doesn't just mean like an officer. It literally means like a a county clerk would be an official, right?
Check this out, Gary. Check this out. When you play baseball and you win a certificate for playing baseball, you know them courts, and you part of that establishment for that specific certificate, and there's some judges and umpires and all of that. What I'm saying is, a certificate is based on the commerce completely. Period.
Wait, stop. That would be redundant because it says officers and judges prior to that. So, what would be a court of procedure then? Like, why would you say court of procedure again, but you already have judges and officers in there?
A court of procedure is what I just told you, is making the person that they give that paper to a federal agent. They have to be a federal agent.
Federal agent.
Hold on.
Agent would fall under that official. So why would you need to restate it as a court of procedure?
It says, or court of procedures practice therein, meaning procedural practices of said court within that county, state. My point is, why would some word that just means a certificate in the legal definition, not in Webster's, why would a simple word like certificate have courts and judges and officers, verifications and documentation all be in a word that is on our birth certificate that you claim, and maybe the state of Texas, that is worthless? Doesn't mean a thing. Why would they go through all that for something that doesn't mean anything?
Hold on, you're talking about two different kind of certificates. Just like I told you,
what do you think a birth certificate is?
Hold on, I told you, I clearly separated the two. I said the birth certificate you get from the hospital in the state of Texas is worthless. The one issued by the hospital. The only birth certificate that means anything in the state of Texas is the one with the Texas state seal on it that you get from
right. And where do you think they got said document?
Who got the document?
The state. Where
the state issues the documents. What do you mean?
Where do you think they got the original from? How did they have the information about you? Where did that come from?
The Bureau. No, listen. The Bureau. No. Listen. The Bureau of Statistics. You have to go down and register the birth. You give them. Hold on. Listen. You give them the information. You tell them where they.
My parents didn't give them any information. They took me and went home.
You don't live in Texas. I'm telling you, this is how they do it in Texas. You go down and you register that birth, and then what happens is you tell them when they were born. I can show you a Texas birth certificate. It don't even say the time you were born or anything like that. All it says is basically the information that the state gives you, and then you will get a number issued by the state for that certificate after it's registered with our Bureau of Statistics here in Texas.
Can I buy and sell? Can I sell that certificate if I wish?
To who? Why would you want to sell your birth certificate?
Because it's a certified piece of paper.
You can sell it. I'm pretty sure there's quite a few people, some illegals who will buy it. I'm pretty sure you can sell it.
Okay, so now
I have one question while we're talking about things like this. Going on, just not to change the subject a whole lot, regarding the Social Security number, I kind of used to know how they came up with the numbers, but I'm not really that sure anymore. The reason why I say that is because, like, for example, there's a 12-year difference between my sister and I, but our Social Security numbers are exactly the same to like maybe the last 2 or 3 numbers.
Right.
And I was curious to know how they came up with that.
From my understanding, the Social Security number, depending on what your number is, it goes by what state you were born in, and then of course,
that part.
Right, and then there's another part that considered region, and then I think the last 4 would just be by when you were born.
Okay, so it's not unusual for I think like all 4 of our siblings had like the same numbers until maybe like the last 2 or 3 numbers.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think the last 4 is the ones that are depending on when you were born, but the first 5 are like state and region numbers or something. I don't know how that all works out exactly, but I know I knew a guy who could tell you based on if you told him the first 3 numbers of your Social Security number, he can tell you. He can tell you what state you were born in.
Right. Because
Hey,
see,
Gary.
this is the thing. Check this out. Like I'll use my sister for example. She was born in St. Louis, and I was born in Redwood City, California. And so, but our numbers are almost the same to like, they're exactly the same until like the last three numbers. So I was just curious how that came about.
Because you're part of the same family.
Oh, so that's what, so they do the number. Because I mean, I'll think of that, but that just seems, that's the only thing I can think of.
And when you're registering chatteled property, right? I'm not saying that this is the proper name, chatteled property, right? Then therefore you want to keep the lineage close. See? You're registered. It's just like me registering a car. I register to insure my house. I register my child. It is all property. That's why property law is very, very important here, because a lot of people are trying to appropriate your property. You are your property.
Yep, exactly.
And listen, man, that shit is all fine and dandy. What Gary's saying as far as like the state of Texas issuing out their own birth certificate, but on the bigger level, that birth certificate that was given to you at the fucking hospital, man, that shit is already federally touched down.
No, I got my original birth certificate.
Right, but what I'm saying is that federally you're known.
You got my footprint on the back of it, but that's it.
It don't matter what the state of Texas
the only thing
says is valid or invalid, G.
Yeah, the only thing that
you're known already.
Hold on, the only thing that happens here in the state of Texas when you're burned at the hospital is they go ahead and register you for your social security number right at the hospital, and you can't go get your birth certificate until you have your social security number.
Again, I want to say something. I want to say something about that, Gary. When you get a social security number, does that not make you a federal agent?
No, that makes you a citizen of the United States.
No, son, it makes you a federal agent because it gives you a federal ID number only a federal agent can use. And again, that goes back to say, when they turn over the certificate, what the court just gave you the definition of, your mom and dad have to give an ID to show that they part of the government. They got a social security number. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish, man. Please, let me finish. Your mom and dad have to show an ID to even take you up out of the hospital, which again let them know that you have a social security number, which you are again the junction of the state, or what was the last definition we was describing right now, court?
Award. You become a ward of the state.
Yeah, but court just said something about the definition, the last word. When he was in different,
it was court of procedures practice.
That makes the court of procedure practice. Then once they identify themselves as an agent of the court, for them to get to receive the birth certificate from one official to the next official. Listen to what it's telling you. The words are there, plain in sight. You just have to look at them. You have to.
So
more or less, the understanding I get is
everyone that's a citizen
whatever government is running shit, they can just
everyone
they
that's
want to do whatever the fuck they want to do. They have the right to.
Everyone that becomes a U.S. citizen is an agent.
That applies to corporations as well. I used to. Well, I have one. It's not making money, but the same place where I got the birth certificate for my kids is the same place where I went and got a tax ID number for the company that I have, because some corporations are considered legal entities, or like Mitt Romney said back in the day, a corporation is a person, and that's true to a certain degree.
Yeah, I just read on that
that's a law. That's a law. That's a law.
No, under U.S. law, corporations are considered people.
That is true. I've set up some for people, and I have one myself. So I'll have to go with Gary on that one.
Yeah, they actually have some of the same corporations have some of the same rights as people.
Yeah, this is going to cause an argument with Gary, but here's how it works. When you have cargo, you get a certificate or a receipt for that cargo. And what he doesn't understand is our birth certificates are the receipt for the cargo that was birthed, meaning a ship, meaning we're the ship. The hospital's a ship. We are the cargo that was burned.
Oh, we were the cargo born into the country. Yo, that's some deep shit. Yo.
So the certificate is the cargo on that
ship.
He's drawing parallels that are not actually there.
So what? No, it's good. You know what I mean?
But how you know they are not there?
Have a good thing on that too. It's really good stuff. And it's true to a certain degree.
And what that does is it breaks it down. Therefore, it is property. It can be sold and traded.
Right. Matter of fact, someone told me a long time ago you could take the numbers off your birth certificate if you put it in the stock exchange. You know, it's a number on the stock exchange number, but if you were to enter
No, I was the one, and what it had, well, I don't know if it's specifically me. We did a live show on this, and I put people's QSIP numbers into Fidelity, and they could pull up how much their bond was worth, your birth certificate.
Right. Did it have the name associated with it too on there?
What's up?
Was the name associated with the number that you put in?
Yes, because it's talking about the corporation of what they do is they go back throughout your family and figure out how much your family is worth as far as paying taxes. Those taxes of which you work for, which go to the elite, they can buy and sell those. So if they think you are good for $100,000 in your lifetime, they will sell it to somebody else for $50,000. They get their 50 grand, and they'll let the new owner collect the other, so they make 50 grand. You are bought and sold on.
It's an insurance hustle.
It's 100% a hustle.
You know, what's this site? I gotta find my damn birth certificate.
I mean, it all goes back to the commerce, what you were saying. You can connect everything with everything. If the corporation can be a person and the person is a corporation, it's all commerce.
I told him that's what the Constitution did to him.
Right.
Yes.
If you look at any summons that you get in the mail, any single one of them, in the damn summons itself, it is referencing commerce against the commerce of the United States. That's what they're charging you with. The reason we have such high debt is because we, the people, have never offset the debt. We only use debt instruments. So you can't offset the debt. This is why the court has to give you community service if you ask for it, because you can't pay the debt with a debt. They won't openly tell you that, but if you say, Your Honor, I don't make enough money.
That's common sense, though.
No, it's not.
You know?
To us,
you cannot pay a debt with a debt.
Exactly. But this is why,
you know,
when you go to court and they say you owe us $200, and you say, well, Your Honor, I don't have $200. Is there any other options I have? Oh, magically and mysteriously, he'll give you the opportunity to do community service because he knows there's no money. You can't pay it. They have to give you remedy. If you don't know about that, you can go to your little jobby job and drop that $200. And here's the problem. That debt was never offset. So that's why our national debt is going up. Not because they're paying. Our birth certificates, which is our signature, is what creates the credit. We're under bankruptcy. So we don't have to pay for anything, but we go to our jobs, they're double dipping. You buy a car, you sign the paperwork, that car has been paid for under your fictitious, your straw man. You go to work and pay them double. They know this, but if you don't know it, they're not going to tell you.
Hey, yo.
You mentioned the car thing too. You know, the driver license thing is just a hustle too. That's only, you actually not supposed to have a driver license. It's only for doing
for government employees and their
commerce.
Under commerce, yes.
Commerce.
The Act of 1871.
But Gary, fight that down though. Gary, say, we ordered it.
Stop it. You guys just went, like I said, 45 minutes, and all anybody did is argue, and nobody learned a damn thing. This is why these are unproductive. We know what we're talking. He can have his opinion. That's fine. I know I'm right. I've done the research, and I've tested it. Nadi knows he's right. Tenkara knows he's right because he has the proof in his own family. There are proofs out there. If other people don't want to believe, that's fine. But why would you spend your energy and your time arguing with a group of people that inherently don't agree with you, obviously, will never agree with you? Why would you do that to yourself? So either you're doing it because you're bored. I don't know. I'm not going to be negative. I don't know. I would never go to a group of people that no matter what I said, they argued against me with.
At the end of the day, man, he's a fucking op. And you know we're loving people, man. That's
You
why
know
that's
damn
why
well
we
I know that.
embrace him. But he's a fucking op, man.
Here's what the
And then he
Annoterrorist
started
told
talking
me.
that we're gonna be lonely if he's not
This is
here.
not. Annoterrorist told me, well, not
Yo.
me directly. He said this is not for everybody, and for the people that aren't ready for it, it's like giving a loaded shotgun to an adolescent. Let them run along. Let them be. And that's my thing. Let him be. I don't know why he just won't go and be. Because all he does is create distraction, confusion, and being argumentative. If we're so wrong, leave us to our own devices.
Hey,
but I think he agrees about the corporation. I think he's coming around to the commerce part. I know he knows that a corporation and is a person just like a regular person as far as legally. So I think once you understand that, then you kind of realize it's the same paperwork, like you say, it's the same sheet. They have the same seal on it.
Yes.
If you
but
get
here's
like
my problem, Stephen.
bonds,
We took 5 people to give him 0.1% of knowledge to convince him, and none of us progressed in anything.
Hey, yo, I just wanted to put in the back chat the fact. Just let's figure out, like, we're going on emotions and stuff like that sometimes, right? But in the back chat, I basically put the Act of 1871. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Hey,
the Act of 1871.
Tenkara, if you go to the
That's
Act
when
of
it became a
1870,
corporation. Yeah.
if you go to the Act of 1871 under serendipity, it literally breaks the whole thing down and
It
why we're a
says it
corporation
formed.
and not a country.
Yep.
There used to be the United States for America, but then it became the United States of
Of
America.
America. Yes.
Right.
But the serendipity one is the one I used to use in my shows because it breaks it down to just put. Am I breaking up?
You broke up like really bad when you said serendipity.
Is that better?
Oh, there you go.
The shows I used to do, I used the one in serendipity because, and I tell this to everybody, I'm not a very sophisticated man. I sit in my own little mind until I figure things out. So I've learned how to take complicated things or complex ideas and put them in simplistic form. And serendipity really breaks it down, not only with the ideology, but giving dates and everything else. And it's yellow on the sides. It breaks down, well, you were told this, but this is what really happened. And a lot of people from me giving it to people really could read it one time and walk away with like that epiphany moment. So if you type in the act serendipity, and then after that, just space, Act of 1871, you'll see it's like the second or third one down, and it goes right through it. It puts it in nice plain English. It's nothing fancy, and you walk away with a better understanding of, all right, I freaking got it. Now you can go from there once you understand the idea and go and getting some legalese and all the other fun crap.
Yeah. But we were arguing, but all we had to do is just bring up the Act of 1871. That's it. So
you can't, because I've shown him this, told him that, go here, go there. Here's court case. He don't want to hear none of it, which is fine. That's why I said I'm done arguing with people like that, because I believe we're at a point in all of our lives. It's make or break now. The beginning of the game started a long time ago. The clock is winding down, and we really got to be on our A game. And if people are just going to constantly argue, you're wrong. Well, the majority, I don't have time for that anymore, because we all know we're right. We all know. We feel it. We know it. And this isn't for everybody. So I have to let them be. That's why the call that Nadi was on before, I had to leave. I just can't do it anymore. I want to be around people that can bring me up, and I can do the same. Give and receive. If it's not for everybody, then I'll just find my way out the door and find. You know what I'm saying? I'm done arguing. There's no sense in it anymore.
I mean, listen, this is for the whole family, man. You know, for the most part, we talk about things that, when it comes to situations like this, we end up talking to each other about things that we know already. Granted, it is always something that we can learn new. But for the most part, after situations like this, we end up talking about things that we know already. And we know that these things are facts. And I mean, it's okay for one time to say no and then actually have a discussion and bring truth to the table. But when every discussion goes the same way, you know that's opposition. And I don't love Gary any less. I mean, really, I don't even know him. I don't know nobody on the panel. I'm just speaking my truth. I'm speaking from what I see, and I understand what you're saying, Court. Because at the end of the day, man, it's not like we can go to their side and do what Gary does.
No,
that shit wouldn't be allowed. You know why? Because it's gonna bring friction.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't do it anyways, because all I'm gonna do is bring negativity and anger. Why would I want to do that anyways?
Right. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm just saying. You know, like for example, though, you know, it's just a little bit ridiculous, man. And there's really no other way around that shit, man.
I mean, Harry, you,
shit is opposition,
Truth, Q, all the Naughty, all these different forms, factions that we've created in the last few weeks, maybe even the last couple of months. And I can only speak on my behalf because I've only been involved with you guys for, weeks, if not 1 or 2 months. The growth I've experienced is exponential. And then something like this happens. It's like, wait, if I can grow this much, who else is growing from it? And then it's like that roadblock in the road. And through my growth, I've learned to just leave that alone. That won't leave me alone. And that's what's frustrating me because it won't go away. And I dislike it none. It's just, why are we getting in that frustrating moment when we've all made such great moves, positive strides, to let something like that get in the middle? It's kind of like, relationship.
I mean, listen, Court, and not to even cut you off, brother, but it's even bigger than that, man. We're fucking humans, man, and we love each other, and we want to have control over ourselves because we know that the difference between right and wrong, good and bad, or at least putting the energy towards these things. So at the end of the day, if a person can't see that,
you got to let them go.
That. Come on, man.
That's where I'm just trying not to be an asshole about it.
If a person can come here every time on the panel and from the words that they say, you know for sure that they have 100%, they back the government or the bullshit 100%. Come on, man. Nah.
No, I'm with you. That's why I'm saying I don't want to start striking at him. Like you said, I love him no less, and I hope someday he figures it out. But when you come every day and there is no change, why does the group or even the individual keep giving that entity their energy? It just drains you. We deal with it in society all day. To come home on these channels, to have the very awesome chats we're having right this minute. We were talking about some really awesome shit before, and then once again, and I said it, I was like, oh, here we go. I want no part of it. And it happened exactly like I said it. Not because I'm a prophet. I know he doesn't want to hear it. I'm not saying he's doing it intentionally. I'm not saying he's trying to get in between people, but it's non-productive. It's unproductive. We know what we know, then leave us alone and let us go be lonely somewhere. Shit. I don't understand why you would waste your time. I mean, are the kids sleeping and the wife's at work and you're bored? Go find another room with people. Go tell them about your awesome law. We don't care.
Yeah, it is kind of frustrating because, it was a lot of information that could have helped someone else. And I did put my email in the chat room.
Yeah, man, I got it.
Along with a couple of other things I just put in. Just check out my email, my page or whatever, and I hope you learn a lesson.
What's your page called?
Yeah, my name, Nati Tafar.
Nati Tafar?
Tafar. Tafar.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, man, at the end of the day, everything is still good. We still get the build and fucking, at the end of the day, I go to bed with a smile on my face knowing that I don't know.
Right.
But
I really
like control, I'm happy with, But listen, man, that motherfuckers like Gary and Madame, they cool too. That's fine, whatever they do. But listen, at the end of the day, their mission is accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they always breaking up.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
That's what I said, man. I'm either getting too old or we're all growing too much. When do we put a stop to it and say no? We're here to build on some stuff, and you're welcome to listen, but we won't feed into that bullshit.
Well, yeah, I appreciate y'all coming in, man.
Yeah. Much respect to you and your panel there, man. Everyone's safe. Let's
Yeah, what happened to the electricity man though?
I really wanted to get
He
back
went
on that.
out.
One world, man. That's on one world.
Yeah. One world has started it off.
Yeah, I really wanted to jump back on it.
Somebody's mic is
was on yesterday. That's knowledge, Mike. But I thought, we could have got back on some reasoning of strengthening each other on our dialect of the Eye of Horus and thing, because we really didn't get no knowledge out of that yesterday. It kind of went all over places, and it actually was a good topic, and it kind of pertained to everyday life. And I kind of wanted to see some interest what you guys had on that or your outlook on it,
I mean, that shit could be anything, man. It's like I was just thinking tonight about the Eye of Horus. It's like you always have three perspectives. You have that person's story, the other side story, and the truth. And it's like we got three eyes. We got that eye, this eye, and the truth. And you have to be easy with it because it can be manipulated. It's so precious and so gentle. And you can end up seeing so much.
Harry, I don't know where you're from, brother, but you are always on some deep shit that makes a motherfucker think. And it's like you could tell me that the cat ran up the hill, and I walk away going, man, that was a blessed cat. It's just the way you put shit, man. You always make a motherfucker think, and I just wanted to put that shit out there.
Did anybody ever see the documentary about the Eye of Horus, where they did the one perspective where it's the pituitary gland inside your brain?
Yeah.
And that's your actual third eye that's connected to an ethereal plane, because when they actually look into it, it's like a light. It looks like the galaxy. You know what I mean? It's connected to a higher plane, which is another one is the sun, because when Akhenaten was in charge or in Egypt, he basically brought all the gods under one entity, which was the life bringer of all things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another one is if you look at, say, the dollar bill, right? You'll see actual two pyramids instead of just one hovering above another. You know what I mean? One is, if you look in the alignment of both pyramids, if you go down to Mexico and the Temple of the Sun, right? The pyramid down there, it's exactly aligned up to the temple or the pyramid over in Africa, which is exactly aligned up to the ones in Asia, right? So it's like if you're looking at the first pyramid, off in the distance is a smaller pyramid with an eye, right? An eye would be of Horus. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Wasn't Tesla working off the intellect of the Eye of Horus also?
Yep, with the Tesla coil.
Yeah, because it was parallel with the Giza pyramids of Giza, right?
Yeah, the pyramid of Giza actually they say is a generator, right?
Yeah.
They had light. They had light way before light was light. You see what I'm saying? They had power. They had batteries. They had everything. It's an advanced civilization using rocks and piezoelectric frequencies.
It wasn't like today, like light bulbs, though. Didn't they make objects glow or glue by itself? Wasn't that what resonated the light? It wasn't like a screw in a light bulb type of thing?
Exactly, because remember the Tesla coil, if you actually look at the schematics of it, it's actually connected to an underground stream, right? And nobody even looks that up. Nobody even sees that.
Yeah, it's underground, like a vein system going underground.
And the same thing is going under from the Nile, under all those pyramids, right?
Yeah.
And they took when the Arabs went in there and took off all the alabaster stone, they emitted all that radiation. You know what I mean? It's harnessing like powerful ley lines energy. You know what I mean? Like
which energy is it harnessing?
Say again?
What energy is it harnessing?
Ley line energy.
From where?
From the planet. The planet is alive, bro. Whether you like it or not, the planet's not just a piece of rock, just hurtling. It has its own pulse.
I don't think it fits the definition of alive, though. I'm sorry.
It's a living planet.
Yeah, it vibrates and everything, bro.
Vibrates and everything. It has the same amount of water content as you do.
That's what makes that's what make the waves, the vibration of the earth.
No, that would be
listen, man. You think we be living in a dead planet?
Thank you.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
There's
a difference between things living on a planet.
If the planet can create life, is living, brother.
Nobody said the planet can't create life.
Humans resonate at the same
what do you mean? It
frequency
creates
as the
grass. It creates. Well, come on, man. That's life, man.
No, you have things living on the planet. That doesn't mean the planet creates life.
Oh man.
Like just because you're living on a spaceship, does that mean the spaceship creates life? Well, no.
Where you went, man? You went to go report to Agent Smith?
I'm sorry?
You went to go report to Agent Smith?
Hold on.
Bro, I just lost my shit.
Jumping in and out of the Matrix, huh?
Hey, I got a butt plug for him because he leaking everywhere.
No, don't say that.
I don't even know how that's funny. I guess you just laughing.
Yo, Gary, you're a time traveler.
Oh, boy.
You know people like you, man.
Now, from what we know of energy, it has to be converted or altered. So, where's this energy being transferred or altered from?
Are you alive?
Yes, I fit the definition of a species that are alive.
So hold on. What are you saying? What are you saying, Gary? Say what you were saying. Energy, continue. I'm trying to get a fullness on you.
Energy either has to be transferred or altered. So you're saying that this energy is coming from where? The Earth.
Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only added or manipulated.
Mm-hmm. Only what?
Added or manipulated.
No, not added. It can only be transferred or altered.
I guess I'm reading the wrong definition then.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean add. How would you add energy since you can't create it?
He's energy is everywhere. If one force is stronger over here, you can add energy from another place to that.
Oh, okay, so you're trying to say it's transferred. That's transferred. Transferred.
Gary, you have to remember we're at a third grade reading level, so you have to kind of come down to our level to comprehend what we're talking about.
Well, you said add, and I'm like, add. What do you mean add energy?
Man, get out of here. He be adding energy, man. If I'm pushing something and I need somebody help, he adding his energy.
Yeah.
Yes, but from where? You're transferring the energy from one thing.
He adding the energy, man.
Energy is everywhere. Even the air you're breathing is energy.
Energy is everywhere.
No.
Energy is everywhere.
Well, I mean, as far as relativity is concerned,
no. As far as energy is concerned,
No, as far as relativity is concerned,
I said energy. We said energy, not relativity.
I don't think you gives no fucks anymore.
Once again, I don't think you understand what relativity means if you don't understand that.
I know that I can come outside. I know that I can come outside and receive energy. From the grass and the trees that surround me.
Yes.
from the food I eat.
Right, but you understand that when we say E equals MC
They're
squared,
just
that
not
means,
transferring that shit, man. It's not
Okay,
well, that's the only way, because you can't create energy, right?
No, we're consuming it. We're consuming the energy.
Once again, it's being transferred over. But your consumption, you can't destroy that energy. So that energy goes somewhere and then it comes back out, right?
No, you can't destroy. You can't. It's
right,
everywhere.
you can't destroy it. So it only can be transferred and altered from you. Which means the energy you take in, you're not consuming.
But it definitely can be controlled
it
somehow, some way. And that it is being controlled.
Okay.
The energy's being controlled.
And or manipulated.
There's no and. That's it. Just period.
There's a difference between transfer and There are two different words.
Harry said, I don't give a damn what anyone says. You heard me, motherfucker. Now run with it.
No, I was just he talking about and there's no